Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another month, another edition here of the Enki Epic Series. Enki Epic Series number, I was gonna say number 8. Oh, let me just double check that. Let me do that. Number 8, your monthly dose of StarCraft Evolution content. Welcome one all. I'm of course your VIP. With you, I'm joined by these amazing players and of course by the people in the chat as well. Welcome one all to something a little bit different here. Again, unfortunately, we have not been able to cover much StarCraft Evolution as of late. On the one hand, there was a big hiatus. There was a big off season for SC Evo due to the arcade not being available and not being able to update in the arcade. Of course, that has since changed. But there was a big period, a big window where that was not the case, where again there were no updates and no tournaments as a result of that, but that has since changed. On top of that, we were catching up with all the other premier events, with Home Story Cup, Little League Cup, Rongi Cup, alongside RSL, and I feel like I'm forgetting one, Thunderfire, that's it, and Thunderfire as well. There was just so many big premier major events going on in January and February. Finally, in March, we can slow things down a little bit, catch up with all the weeklies, and catch up with some SC Evo content as well. We do plan on hosting and casting some more StarCraft Evolution over the next couple of weeks with SC Evo number 19, 20, 21, and also SEL Doubles, which is a 2v2 tournament that did pop up, and looks like that we're going to have another one later on in the month as well, later on in April. So a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft. Very quickly touching on this, if you're maybe tuning in for the first time, because we usually do cast SC Evo at a more NA friendly time. I will say that usually it's a little bit more in the Americas friendly time slots. But SC Evo StarCraft Evolution is a mod that does pit together Brood War versus StarCraft 2. It is only balanced and only does cater that kind of style as well. Bear that in mind. So you do not see Brood War versus Brood War. You do not see StarCraft 2 versus StarCraft 2. The game is not balanced for Brood War versus Brood War. There are some tournaments that feature it, but that's not the main goal of the balance team and of the patches that do occur as well. Bearing in mind this mod is relatively regularly updated and patched as well when it comes to trying to adjust to any kind of issues when it comes to the meta and when it comes to any dominant builds which do occur from time to time. There's a lot to get into when it comes to StarCraft Evolution. But before we get into the big show match, again, when it comes to the Enki Epic Series, it is going to be a best of 9 between Classic and ByuN. We will get there. For now, we have a bit of an appetizer. We have a Zardian show match, a 2v2 show match here, a bit of an appetizer, a bit of an opener. It is going to be Zardians and Deathmars versus Milky Cow and Ios. Oh boy, here we go. So this is going to be an SC Evo 2v2 best of 7 show match between these 4 players. Then once we wrap this up, then we can head into the main course. We can head and sink our teeth into the TVP between best of 9 between ByuN and Classic. Oh boy. Here we go. Now, I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever casted SC Evo 2v2. Tournaments have been occurring in SC Evo for 2v2 for the past year, but usually it's not in like the foreign community. Usually it's like in the more CIS community. There's been a lot of CIS 2v2 tournaments with StarCraft Evolution, which we have not been able to cover ourselves and cast ourselves. But regardless, we do have this best of 7 show match. I'm ready to jump in. Oh boy, I don't really know what to expect out of this, especially because when it comes to 2v2, I'm also a little bit out of the loop. When it comes to the Euthermal 2v2 circuit, we did cast it last year, but this year, we have not been casting any of it, just because we've been, again, as I mentioned, we've been casting all these other events, and we've been, of course, adminning and running those tournaments, haven't been able to cast them ourselves, unfortunately, so a little bit limited when it comes to my 2v2 current meta knowledge, but let's go, let's jump in. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun regardless. Let's go. It's going to be jumping into Game 1. Game 1 is going to be on Undercurrent. Was wondering why I haven't seen Evo for a long time, thought it wasn't popular enough. No, as I mentioned, like, it was just a big off-season, big hiatus in regards to StarCraft Evolution, and again, we just didn't have the time, the free time on our schedule to jump into it either. But here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have our initial duo here. We have the purple Terran player representing 3D Clan. It is Milky Cow alongside his teammates, alongside IO. So here we go. We have Brood War Terran and SC2 Zerg. Meanwhile, in the top right-hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the red Brood War Terran. We have the orange SC2 Protoss. It is Deathmars and Zardians. Here we go. So we have our 2v2. We have our, also very quickly, this is going to be a best of 7. A best of 7 2v2 show match. let's go. Now, I'm curious what the maps are going to be. I do know that a bunch of Brood War maps have been ported over into StarCraft 2 for the purpose of StarCraft Evolution, but I don't think there's been an initiative for Brood War 2v2 maps to be ported over. So I believe it is going to be just the standard SE2 map pool. We'll see as we progress through the map pool, through the series. For now, it is going to be Hatch Gas Pool, Standard Opener out of ISL, but likewise, we do have our Rax Expand out of Milky Cow going for the Pocket Expansion. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. Do have Zardian going for the forward base himself, meanwhile, it instead is going to be ISL going for the forward expansion. This does make more sense for the Zerg player just because Zerg does need to spread creep, and if they take the pocket base, then they're going to be limiting themselves when it comes to their own presence and creep spread on the map. So forward bases make more sense for Zerg in 2v2s. Meanwhile, when it comes to our Brood War compatriots here, we'll see if we go into Bio or Mech. Already, second Rax is on the way. Okay, a much more aggressive build going into a 3-Rax opener. This has been very prevalent, very common. We should be seeing an Academy alongside this to get into Stim. For those who are unaware, add-ons do exist in Brood War, but add-ons are a little bit different. You know, like machine shops are a thing, or like the nuke silos are a thing as well. But there's no like reactor, there's no tech lab for the Raxes themselves. So no add-ons here, but we should be seeing an academy to get into the upgrades to get into Stim and U23 get shells. There it is, there's the academy. Now these 3-Rax Stim timings are very popular and very dominant in the StarCraft Evolution meta, to the point where this build has been nerfed and patched like 5 different times over the past year. Like like this specific Stim timing when it comes to like Stim research time, Stim cost, when it comes to Marine research time, Marine cost, Marine attack range, attack speed as well, medic health and medic durability, medic healing rates. Like again, like there's just been so many patches targeting this specific build over the past year, just because it's still quite prevalent. It's still quite prevalent despite all the adjustments, of course. Bearing in mind that with the arrival of the academy, you can start to make medics. Now, Brood War Terran is a little bit different compared to SE. I mean, it's very different compared to SE2 Terran. As we just mentioned here, the power and the strength and the reason why these 3-Raxes hit so hard is because you do not need a starport for supportive units. You don't have to tech up into a factory and into a starport to make medevacs. In Brood War, you just need the academy and bam, you can make medics. That's why these 3-Raxes do hit harder in Brood War than they do in StarCraft 2. But as we can see here, it is going to be, we've been fixating a lot on our purple Terran, but across the map we do have Zardian. He's going into Mech. Okay, second factory on the way. We do have our machine shops getting into spider mines, getting into siege mode. Remember, siege mode does have the resource for your tanks, and we're building up into our own Mech setup. So very different kind of approaches when it comes to our Terran players here. Rax is going to be floating. On top of that, I don't see any medics here. That tells me that Milky Cow is not pushing. He zones away the initial scout, the initial overlord, or Rax overlord, if you will. But we're building up in towards a longer game. So we do have ISL just getting another expansion, claiming a third base, and likewise we should be seeing a third base from Milky Cow as well. This is no strong timing attack. We're just building up bio and expanding. We're getting into a macro game. Meanwhile, across the map, it is going to be a double Stargate into double Phoenix production. So Mass Phoenix, Mass Skytoss out of Death Mars, and a Mech out of our Terran player. This is like traditional 2v2. For those that are curious, for a very, very long time in the 2v2 meta, the best way to play 2v2 was Skytoss plus Mech. Right, Skytoss and Mech, they complement each other very, very nicely, and they build up into a death pool of a late game army, and this can just roll people over. Like it's a dominant force that you kind of work towards. I say previously in the meta because in the current times, in current StarCraft, especially with the change of the resource tax mod and with more players playing 2v2, this style has been less common and less prevalent in regular SE2 2v2, but this is StarCraft Evolution, and I will say that Mech here is a little more viable, a lot stronger, a little more well-rounded here for Brood War. You can get away with this. Things they move in. They move in, they get one Overlord. So far, so good. No Phoenixes have gone down. We have Ion Thrusters on the way. That is going to be, of course, I almost said Cyclone. Vulture Speed. Meanwhile, here come the first wave of medics. Phoenixes are just harassing, poking in, finding whatever they can. Overlords, drones, medevacs. Oh, sorry, no medevacs, dropships. Whatever they can find. Ooh, turret does take down one of the Phoenixes. One Phoenix is full. At the same time, we do have a Vulture setting up in the center of the map. Spider Mines being thrown down. For those who are maybe unfamiliar with the Vulture units here, Widow Mines don't exist. Instead, we have Spider Mines. They're a little bit different. They're one use. So once they get spent, they're one and done sort of thing. The Vulture does have a limited amount of charges within them to throw down a limited amount of Spider Mines. So the Vultures, they're laying down those mines. Ooh, diving into the mineral line, and we do get one drone. One drone goes down, not quite worth it here. The other difference as well is before the Spider Mine engages and before it attacks, as Milky Cow does scan for the mines, but before it attacks, they do unburrow, and that is when they are vulnerable. You can kill Spider Mines before they engage. Speaking of, yep, gets one, gets two. You do not need scans, right? You don't need scans. As long as your attack rate is high enough, you can focus down all those mines before they do hit. Of course, when you move into a clump of them, you can maybe kill 1, 2, 3, but some of them may still connect. As he scans, he does not see. Ooh, baits out one of the mine shots. Calm down, Milky Cow. Calm down. Killed out of Sling. Here we're setting up our siege line. Carrier production has begun. As we mentioned, like the Sky Toss is the end game, the end goal here for Death Mars. And Zardian, he has built up his tanks. Breaking this siege line without Ghost is going to be insanely difficult. Ghosts, they do have their disable ability. So in SE2, you have Ravens that can disable. In Brood War, it's the Ghost. The Ghost does have lockdown. And that's usually how you break these siege lines, is you go in with your Ghost, you go in with your lockdowns. Of course, the other option is, because this is 2v2, we could see Viper tech, right? We could see Vipers come in, and Vipers can mass blinding Cloud. That'll be another option. Oh, as all the Spider Mines do get cleaned up. Very close. Very close, very clutch. We're going into Microbial Shroud. Okay. It's interesting. Huh. I mean, I say that. I was gonna say, like, I don't really like the idea of, like, seeing Hydras and Microbial Shroud against Sky Toss, but Microbial Shroud can actually work quite well to supporting the Marines. Right? You just Microbial Shroud the Marines, you Microbial Shroud the Bio Army, and then they can hold their own a little bit better against the Sky Toss. So I do like the idea of supporting your teammate. But we're just taking a bit of a direction. We have the Spire on the way, we have the Ultra Cabinet on the way, we do have Goliath amassing up for our Terran player. Goliaths are coming online. Oh wait, no, sorry, Milky Cow is switching into Goliath. He's going Marine Goliath. Okay. I mean, that's gonna be his answer to the Sky Toss. I'm a little bit concerned because of the lack of Ghosts. Again, Ghosts just add so much utility to this army. Ghosts are they're pretty solid in Brood War. But yeah, we have not embraced them. The other thing, of course, Science Vessel. We spoke earlier how, like, in Brood War, the Ghost has the disable instead of the Raven. Likewise, in Brood War, the Science Vessel has the EMP instead of the Ghost. So if you want EMPs, you're gonna get your Science Vessels up. Oh my god. So I'll be honest, I'm not too fond of the composition that Milky Cow is building up, right? It feels very one note, and it feels very, it doesn't really have that much potential as a result of that. It's just pure marine medic Goliath. Like, there's not a lot of complexity here. I would say the ceiling is quite low for what this army can accomplish. We'll see. Meanwhile, Radiate has begun for Zardians. That's going to be ideal against the Bio. Think of a Radiate kind of like Parasitic Bomb, kind of, where it does land on a unit. The difference, though, is that when the unit that gets targeted by an Irradiate dies, that will eliminate the Irradiate. The reason why I bring that up is because for Parasitic Bomb, the bomb stays. Where you can, like, Parabomb a Muta, you kill the Muta, and then the Parabomb is still like an active AoE in the sky. Here, if the unit that gets irradiated is killed, then the irradiate dissipates. Because of that, it is very common to see, like, counter micro. Like, if you're playing, if say like a Marine or say like a tank gets irradiated, it's not uncommon for the Terran player to just kill their own unit. Just kill their own units to just end the irradiate. So there's a kind of counterplay available. Ooh. So far, nice trades here, collapsing into the vultures. Tempests are amassing. The Sky Toss is getting there. It's still not. Geez, 10 carriers. It's very carrier heavy. Meanwhile, I was praising also for getting into Microbial Shroud. He does have 3 Infestors. We got 2 Vipers as well. But have our blue team, have they been too passive here? Fungo does graze the army. Catching a couple of vultures. Again, I'm still not entirely convinced by what Milky Cow has. So a couple of Valkyries, which helps. That is like splash damage anti-air. Valkyries, they can be nice to get against the interceptors. But this is a very A-move army. And there is a chance that maybe we can find some units unsieged and like find a better angle of attack. Specifically, like I'm picturing a world where this army rotates, hugs the right-hand side of the map, and then bam, hits the space here, pushes up here as well. You know, these tanks will be out of position. Like there is a way here towards the right-hand side of the map if we really wanted to. Speaking of A-move, likewise, very ultra heavy. Like like it feels like both Iosop and Milky Cow, they just want to dive. Like they just want to pick a target, like pick an area, mass blinding cloud, Microbial Shroud, and then just commit. And just ape in. And I don't really know how much success that's gonna have, to be honest. Def Mars, at this point I would say he has too many Phoenixes, but I think he's already lost most of them. Nah, he still has 10. Like we could throw away these Phoenixes and just rebuild more Tempest. Or even just build up more High Templar and more Storm support. Remember, Storm is done. So I would say that these Phoenixes, they've ran out of their usefulness here. They can help a little bit, of course, adding DPS against the Valkyries, and they can lift some high-tech units, but I mean, they can't lift Ultras. And ideally, your Tempest is going to be sniping the Vipers anyway. Oh, they radiate! Yeah, science doesn't ever extend. One vessel goes down. Yeah, nice pick up there with the Valkyries. Does catch the vessel. Again, the meching army is spread thin, bear that in mind. That'll be one big difference when it comes to this fight, is that when it comes to our blue team, they both have their entire armies here together. Meanwhile, Zardian's army is spread. Massive reductions, gets 2. Has to spend a lot of reductions though. Kaji had only 1 Tempest goes down. That was 4 reductions. As again, vultures, they do not trigger the spider mines. Vultures technically hover, and these are like pressure sensitive. Ooh. Catching an ultra. Ultra goes down. Irradiate's coming in. Very nice. Irradiate's here. Irradiates on the Corruptor, on the Infestor, on the Ultra as well. Nice damage. Infestor goes down. But again, these Ultras are the ideal targets for the Irradiate, because Ultras, they are so tanky. So, I mean, the amount of damage that's dealt here, it's not much higher. Again, if you irradiate a Marine or if you irradiate a Zergling, then the Irradiate dissipates quite quickly because of the low HP pool. Oh, the brutal OST. Oh no! Gets another Science Vessel. Another vessel goes down. We're just going mass Valkyrie, by the way. Like those are the only reinforcements for Milky Cow. Now, at this point, we are hitting critical mass of Valkyrie. We can potentially, if we stack up these Valkyries and send out a volley, can we start one-shotting carriers? Like, can we? Like the Valkyrie burst damage is crazy. Not just that, I'm thinking like Valkyrie burst damage plus EMP. Right there are 2 science vessels. If we can land 1 big EMP here, this can work. Oh, the defense matrix. Oof. Does get feedback. EMP does land. It does land on the Tempest. There's a fungal, but there's no follow-up. And up. Valkyries 8, they threaten to dive. They bed out a storm. Tanks are moving in on the right-hand side, and these bases are vulnerable. Once again, there's an abduction, but there's no follow-up. Oh no, he commits! No! Gets one, gets two! Takes down 2 carriers. Storm does zone away. A bit of a waste of a powerbomb there on the Phoenix. But those were nice pickups. Oh, that does not show. But I believe it was 2 carriers, right? Sorry, it was 1 carrier and a Tempest. Bottom right goes down. Oh, sorry, as we dove in with the irradiates. In my brain, I thought these were enemy science vessels. My apologies. Does land a couple of irradiates here. Not bad. Again, there's not really any corruptors. It's mainly an ultra spellcaster army. As bottom right is fully under control of Zardians. Tanks are moving in. Finding another expansion. This is getting a little bit dangerous here when it comes to how many resources are available for the blue team. These tanks are caught out. Yeah, nice cleanup here, catching out all 5 tanks. And these ultras can clean up at bottom right as well. It's going to be messy as there's a lot of cannons, but it doesn't go for it. At the same time, yeah, Skytoss, they take down top left. When it comes to resources, as you can see, when it comes to the banks, Zardian and Def Mars, they have massive banks available. They've just been so efficient. Not just that, though, they do have more bases. Straight up, they've taken more bases. They have more resources available. This is why I'm very concerned here for the blue team just in the long run. They cannot remax anywhere near as often. Ultras, they finally head bottom right. Again, it's going to be a messy trade here. We'll see if any Ultras go down to the cannons. There come the lightning clouds. And Ultras, they will clean this up. Yeah, and an Ultra should not go down here. At the same time, Skytoss pushes forward. And the mech for Zardian does rotate to the center. Temps are exposed. Valkyrie's coming in. Up! The Tempest! No, no! He gets him! He gets one! Gets one. Storms do zone. Just one. Just one Tempest. Valkyries are zoned away. The base goes down. Now we have 2 potentially exposed expansions here for the opposing team, for the red team. Messy movement out of Zardians. Messy movement. Oh god! Oh, we irradiate everything! Jesus! Yeah, massive radius. The ultras are so low. The splits are not there. Yeah, the splits were not there. Mass damage here on the Zerg army. Oof. That was what, 4 or 5 irradiates? I want to say around 4. Ay, ay, ay. And even though this army is still alive, it is very, very battered and bruised. Bearing in mind, Zardian, he actually kept he kept these science houses alive. Still alive. Looks like our red team is rotated to the center. We're pushing in. Again, the Zerg army is weak. A lot of it's going to come down to the power bombs, the abductions, to the spellcaster usage, and to the Valkyries, of course. But also remember, Valkyries don't shoot down. Oh, Storm lands. Storm does land. Milkia does have. Oh, does get feedbacked. Storm's once again zoning him back. Ultras, they try to go for the dive. They cannot. Another radiates. Yeah, massive radiates. Decent power bombs. We go for the defense matrix. Oh, the power bomb damage does do quite a bit though. But Zardian splits. Yeah, he does split off. This guy's just raining down here on the armies. The sky tells back. Oh god. And now we commit. Yeah, we just ain't moving in. We commit. It's all or nothing. Takes down a couple of Tempest. No storms. Decent fungal, and the Valkyries are going to clean everything up. The Valkyries, they're going to clean everything up. They break through the carriers, they break through the Tempest. What about everything else, though? Again, Valkyries don't shoot down the tanks. like again, it's great. He resets the Sky Toss. That's cool and all. But here comes the mech army. Here comes the Stalker reinforcements instead. Yeah, we're going for the Stalker switch. A couple of tanks get called out. There's only 2 ultras. Down to 1. Down to 0. Down to 0. And again, this is just dead supply here. Too many Valkyries. Dead supply. We got 15 ultras in production. Let's go. That will be enough. We need those ultras. And I say that. Oof. Yeah, 1 ultra goes down. Another expansion falls. Ultras are taking a lot of hits. They're being camped. Wait, camp of the production, camp of the ultras. No ultras denied. Oof. Yeah, at the same time, we do have the mech army pushing in. The mech army overextends. Yeah, it does overextend. Mass irradiates. Yeah, radiates are nice. Goliaths, they try to kite away. But the ultras, they do outflank. They break through. They break through the mech army here. That's so many Goliaths going down. Can we bait him through the minefield? The minefield. Not quite. Don't need it. Yeah, the ultras get cleaned up, and with that, Team Red should overwhelm. As every ultra falls, there's still a siege line. There's still a minefield as well. Again, the ground switch, Pappy. There's still a couple units in the sky. They're just trickling in, but GG gets called, and Zardian and Defmars, they take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. They do claim a lead in the series, but remember, this is a best of 7. Best of 7 here. And once again, winding it back, the idea of going into mech, into Sky Toss, that is kind of like the ideal, the final boss kind of late game composition in 2v2. We did see, unfortunately, a ByuN play instead. ByuN with, of course, Mass Ultra Spellcaster had some potential. The biggest thing that was really hindering and hurting Milky Cow and Islesop were, of course, their inability to defend their bases and their inability to counterattack. Typically, they should have the more mobile composition, but very, very rarely do we ever see them counterattack and try to hit some of the fringe bases and try to stifle the economy of the meching Terran and of the Sky Toss Protoss. They were freely expanding, and there wasn't really much pressuring those fringe expansions. So I would say that was kind of the biggest issue there, is that there was nothing, or is that they were unable to slow down the expansion rate of the opposing team. And then they built up a more efficient army and a greater bank as well. So, I mean, what could you do against that? GG. GG, well played. With that, Zardian and Defmars take a lead in the series. Now we're going to be loading in game number 2. Going to be loading into Rust Buckets. Let's go. Yeah. Let us go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Rust Bucket, we have our Brood War Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing 3D Clan. It is Milky Cow. Alongside his teammates, the SC2 Zerg player, the purple Zerg, also for 3D Clan, it is Islesop. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have their opposing team. We have the orange SC2 Protoss. We have the Brood War Red Terran. It is Zardians and Defmars. Let's go. Let us go. Welcome one and all to Rust Bucket. Rust Bucket is another interesting 2v2 map. I would say this is going to be favoring Sky Toss and Mech even more. What do I mean by that? Well, we have a shared natural, so we can just naturally expand here at our natural location and secure this position. The other scary thing, though, we have a pocket third expansion. We have the pocket third here for Defmars, pocket third for... Sorry, I should say we have one pocket expansion, so one player gets a free third base, but I would say that this base here is also pretty well defended as well, right? So to be able to expand towards the left-hand side, to only have one attack path, there's only one attack path here that has to be defended, and one attack path here. So there's 2 ways into 6 bases. So a very turtle-friendly map. Very turtle-friendly. More so than the previous map as well. So yeah, the pressure's going to be on our blue team, and it's going to be difficult. Let's go. For now, once again, we're going for the ranks. Expand into a... Sorry, I think that's CC first, my apologies. CC first into a 3-rack setup. Once again, going 3-rack stim. Same opener here for Milky Cow. And Hatch Gas Pool out of our Zerg player. Now, do we expect Skytoss and Mech again? I would say yes. Like, honestly, there's not really much reason to deviate. As I mentioned, in my opinion, I do feel like this map is even better for turtling up as well. Oh, boy. Buenos dias, like that. Buenos dias. Just catching up with the channel. Here we go. So just making sure we're set up everywhere. Beautiful. Yes, from here we are just securing our own expansions. We do have our pocket base taken from Def Mars as is our natural. Here we're walling up, we're setting up. And we have Alsop expanding towards his opponent. Taking that forward third. Any other distinct features here? Not really. There aren't any high yield expansions, high yield bases. The center of the map is interesting. It can be opened up. It is a relatively open center once the rocks get knocked down, for sure. So there are ways to surround or to engage. I will say, okay. So I will say, even though this map is more defendable, and I can see players taking their third bases quite easily, the fourth base is more exposed, and the center of the map is very open as well. So pushing for a meching and Skytoss player, there's a higher chance he gets surrounded. There's a higher chance you get surrounded. There's a higher chance you do get out positioned and outflanked. So in that sense, that will be working in favor of the blue team. Oh. Or at least it should be. Meanwhile, once again, spider mines are on the way. We have a siege mode being researched. Scan does reveal the add-on on the factory, so mech is confirmed. Scan reveals the Stargate. It is going to be the initial Oracle opener. Getting one drone. Ooh, does fall. Not worth it. And not quite worth it, but do you see what I see? I see Stargate into what? Into Gateway Explosion. Early blink here from Def Mars. A much more aggressive build from our Protoss player. Much more aggressive, much more assertive. Is shifting gears entirely. And I believe the blue team has yet to confirm. Yeah, has no idea. Now, I say that, seeing the lack of any kind of production on the Stargate is a tell, right? There should be Phoenixes, and there isn't. So lack of Phoenixes is a tell that there's a higher chance it's going to be either a Twilight Council follow-up or a Robot follow-up, one or the other. I believe we have U-238 on the way. Still going to be mech here from Zardiant. True. Still mech, so no deviation from our Terran player. The Bio Army does move out. Milky does move out, does catch out one of the vultures, not bad. Guess who? 3? Not quite. 2 vultures, 2 fall. Nice shocking here from Milky Cow. Meanwhile, Temple Archive, so blink into Storm. Stalkers have amassed. In my mind, we would have been more aggressive here if the plan was not to be active. This third base is late. Yeah, late third base out of Def Mars. We could have seen something more economic. Scan reveals all the Winged Stalkers. And Def Mars, he won't have as strong of a supportive army here. Okay. Yeah, not as much. He's being active on his own. Moves out with his Winged Stalkers. I'll find some damage. We just spoke in, just trading, recalling back home. Nothing major. Zardian likewise setting up his minefield. Setting up all the mines. Establishing his third. Again, it's going to be once again a bit of a longer game. We have a slower start. We're slowing down, Pat. We're slowing down. And because we're slowing down, that's why I'm not really fond of the setup that Deathmars has. Again, like getting into the mid to late game here, it's going to be a bit of an awkward road for Deathmars. I'm a little bit surprised he didn't start charge. It's a very Stalker heavy. Stalker High Templar, of course. But it'll take him longer to max out. It's a more gas intensive army, I should say. Mukia is clearing the path. Vultures, they rotate. The main army comes in. Okay. Zardian is pushing. Scan reveals the army. How many tanks? We got 9, 10. 10 tank reinforcing. Storms, they move in as well. Again, we do have to be more active. Storm is on the way. Here comes the Templar. Here comes the mass storm. And we're just trying to wedge ourselves in towards the third. Oh, nice link. Does catch some queens. Massive storm here on the Lings. Oof. Lings, they get shut down. And I was concerned about this army scaling into a longer game, but if we're just going for a big 3-base all-in, like, nah, this can work. This can work. Show us the storms. Oh, storm on the tanks. High Templar exposed. Yeah, they're going to be targeted. Oof. 3, 4 Templar going down. Lackluster storms. Deathmars did overextend. We'll take down the expansion at least. But again, if the High Templar were saved and if they were used a little bit more wisely here, I feel like we could have broken the main expansion. The fourth specifically. Fourth out, all the Templar went down. Stalker's still looking for a way in. Which was attempted to run by. Ooh, nice snipe. Nice snipe on the Viper. Mars is still looking for a way in. Vultures, they make the way into the natural. They hit the mineral line. No major damage, but a couple of SCVs. A couple of SCVs are going down. War Prism in towards the main. Okay. Going for a massive charge at Warp in. Yeah, Zal's they get into the main base. At the same time, Fleet Beacon's on the way. We are now working towards Sky Toss. We're getting there in a bit of a later fashion, but we're getting there nonetheless. Zal's they do get into, what, 2, 3 different mineral lines. Another base going to be on fire. Blue team is out of position. Yeah, CC's burning down. Main army's pushing in. We have how many Vipers here? 5. 5 Vipers. Oh. Catching up 5 Vipers. Good rotation. Does say, oh, the Vipers get thrown away. They get feedback, here come the storms, and this low ground base should fall. Like, there's no defending this. And once again, the blue team's just being outpositioned. I mean, I say outpositioned, a lot of it just came down to the counterattacks, right? The drop play, the War Prism, so much damage going back into the storm. And Milky Cow and Iosop, they just cannot keep up. Not like this. Not like this, man. Tuxie what he can. Catching out a couple of Goliaths. Meanwhile, Mass Vulture gets into, Mass Zealot gets into another mineral line. Catching more of the production. Ooh, we were trading against Goliaths. Nice trades with the Zealots. Oh, and nice all in. Yeah, he's all in. He just has Mass Hydra moving out across the map. Okay. A bit of a Hail Mary play. A Hail Mary move, just rushing everything across the map. No, the Spider-Mines. Oh my god. Spider-Mines go up. Tempest have arrived, and also people lose the entire Hydra army here. As a handful of lurkers. There was a ping here for a scan. Catching on 5 lurkers. Yeah. And unfortunately, there was no unity here. It was Iosop on his own, and now it's Milky Cow on his own. He's on his own. Yeah, bleeding out more tanks. You could sense the frustration from the players because they were just pinned back home and they couldn't really achieve much. The counterattack was too little too late. We needed that much sooner. Oh, it's High Templar exposed. Decent storms though. Decent storm. Zardian pushing right down mid. That's a massive siege line. Lurkers, they do try to engage. We have a skin. Oh no. These lurkers, sorry, these tanks are being cleaned up. Yeah, they're being cleaned up. No detection, no scans. Lurkers, they're just going to town here on the tanks. Now we get the scan. Yeah, a bit of a late scan there from Zardians. But Death Mars, he can do this on his own, to be honest. Solito, papi, solito. Stepping in scans. Up. Ducks 2. Kills 1. As Tempest, they just work their way through the tank line. Yeah, there's no answer this time. In the previous game, there was a little bit more counterplay thanks to the Masked Valkyrie, which did eventually win the Battle in the Sky. But again, you can argue that we overinvested into Valkyries and there was just not enough on the ground as a result of that. But here, the Marine Goliath, it is struggling. You can see them stumbling amongst each other, trying to rotate, trying to keep up. Tempest rotate to the top side. Oh my god. Massive storm in the army. The choke point is working against him, Pat. Brutal storm. At the same time, Zardian pushes in, both players pushing on their respective sides. Tempest into the Terran. Mech into the Zerg. And now we've done it. At this point, we can just collapse in, we can get on top of the tanks. GG gets called, and both Zardians and Death Mars will take game number 2. They'll take a short lead in the series. GG. GG, well played. A different style, thankfully. When it came to the early to mid game, we did see a much more aggressive style out of Zardians and Death Mars, going for the initial early blink timing and early storm. I do think that if they had a little bit more... if they were a little bit more attentive to the army, I think they could have killed then and there, to be honest. But they were at least able to gain map control and hinder some of the expansions and contain their opponents on a low base count. And you saw the frustrations, right? You saw the frustrations out of Iosop and out of out of Milky Cow, where they couldn't really stop the advance, they couldn't really stop the aggression, they were stuck with all the supply, and eventually they were forced to counterattack. But remember, that was after all the Zealot harass. Zealot harass was brutal, getting Zealots into the third, the main, the natural, the fourth base as well. They were all over the place, catching production, catching SCVs, crippling the economy, and also keeping the army pinned back, keeping them busy and allowing the opposing team to maintain that map control and get further and further ahead and just mass expand. GG. GG, well played. With that, Zardians and Deathmars, they're up 2-0 in this best of 7, and we'll see if Milky Cow and Alsop will adjust. Again, typically when it comes to bio like Brood War Terran, it is viable, but it's usually more aggressive and more assertive. We've been seeing these more economic builds out of Milky Cow. I want to see something more here out of Milky Cow, but we'll see. We shall see a spawning in the bottom right hand corner. In the bottom right hand corner here of New Bed of Chaos, we have the Brood War Terran. The Brood War Terran, we have the SC2 Zerg. For 3D Clan, it is Iosop and Milky Cow. And in the top left hand corner, we have, oh, we're mixing okay, we're mixing things up here. I appreciate it. We have the Brood War Terran play. Sorry. We have the SG Terran. We have the SG Terran this time, and we have the Brood War Protoss. We have Deathmars and Zardians. I appreciate it. I was gonna say that things would get a little bit more dull if we just keep seeing the same kind of races with each other and the same kind of styles and builds. But thankfully, we do have a bit of a race swap here. Deathmars is now playing Brood War, and Zardians is now playing SC2. Now, what I will say is that Brood War Skytoss is weaker. True, Brood War Skytoss is weaker. Interceptors and carriers, they can be okay when massed up, but getting to Skytoss as the Brood War Protoss is very difficult. So we should be seeing a more mid-game centric army and mid-game centric composition. We'll see how we handle ourselves in the mid-game. Meanwhile, welcome to New Bed of Chaos. We do have a shared main, we have a shared natural expansion. The third bases do veer off in different directions, and they're a lot more exposed. You can see here, there's a low ground third base on the left-hand side. We have a high ground third on the right, so this third base on the right-hand side is more secure. That should be for the Zerg player, so much more secure third and fourth expansions for the Zerg. Much more exposed third and fourth expansions for Milky Cow. Oh boy. I'm sure at some point we'll be seeing Iosop switch to Brood War Zerg and Milky Cow switch to SC2 Terran at some point. So far it looks like the same build, looks like 3-rack stim. 3-rack stim, but no stim timing here. Again, my biggest criticism for Milky Cow is that he has not been going for early academy and early stim timings. He's been playing more defensive and more passive with this bio. Whereas I feel like the strength here are the earlier timing attacks, but you have to be lined up with your teammate as well with this. Gotta be synced up. Otherwise, it is going to be a Robo Opener, which is standard. The go-to opener in Brood War Protoss, which is very limited, is to go Robo into the Bay, into the Shuttle, into Reaver drops. So Reaver drop builds are very common in every single matchup. That's my biggest criticism about Brood War Protoss, is that the viable openers and viable builds feel quite limited and quite restrictive. We're getting into our own Reaver drops. Zardian getting to a very fast third CC, okay. Second factory, Zardian, despite playing SC2, is still playing mech. So he's getting into mech, meching it up. Fast third CC. First Reaver's on the way, that is shuttle speed. I think it's called like Gravitic Drive, I think. It's been a little bit too long since I've casted SC Evolution, so some of the upgrade names, I'm reaching a little bit. I think it is Gravitic Drive. As the Bio Army has built up, once again, the Academy is still working on Stim. Yo, that Academy sounded so nostalgic to me. The nostalgia. Building up our Reavers. When it comes to our Zerg player, oh, this is different. Early Eva Chamber, early +1. Most likely into Ling Hydra, but this could also be Ling into Ultra Tank. Can be Ling into Ultras. Obviously later on down the line. Assuming that we stay on a low gas count, as you can see here, no gas at the natural, no gas at the third. We'll see that trend continues. Meanwhile, the first Reaver has arrived. Cool. Heli's a poke in. Rear shots mainly on Zerglings. And so far, blue team is defending. Blue team does defend. Reaver drop into the main. Up. Nice round. Catching up 4 Hellions. Yeah, 4 Hellions get caught. Blue team has momentum. At the same time, Reaver drop in towards the natural. Gets 1 shot off. Oh my god. Catching out 3 more drones. Wasting a shot of Marine. And we commit. Yeah, Lings are committed. Remember they have plus on melee. The Reaver shots though, are they being wasted? Yeah, the Reaver's on A move. The Reaver's on A move are wasting shots. No target firing, but despite that, we'll still hold. Does still hold, does still defend. As Reavers, they keep dropping. Oof. Catching out more drones, crippling the economy. Oh my god. Tracking the shot into more workers. The scab shots, they chase, baby, they chase. Back into the main. Oh my god. How many drones are we down to? Down to 17. Less than 1 base saturation left here for ISOP. Aye. There's no drones. There's no drones. There's no economy. The 1 Reaver drop. Ooh, the Reaver went down. Reaver went down. The drop has now finally ended, but that was well worth it here for Death Mars. Well worth it. Likewise, Audience is massing up his own mech army. More tanks, more Blue Flame Hellions. Double armory, double upgrades. And coming into the mid game here, I have to favor the red team. Like, they've just done so much harassing damage. And we're still not done. Here comes another Reaver. Another drop. Oh. Ooh, doesn't get the shot off. Remember, cannot shoot to the low ground. Nice catching up the Marines. Shot goes off on the... Oh, only on 2 Marines. And let's get out of here. Yeah, has to pull away. The shuttle goes further in. A bold move. This is risky. Commits into the bases. Once again, going for the mineral line. The shuttle is low on HP. Oh my god, catches 2. Yeah, 2 drones, and it's going to be a one-way trip. There's no shot the shuttle gets out of this. No shot. The Queen! The Queen pops off. Oh my god, gets it. That's 4 drones. 4 more drones go down. Aye. The shuttle is trapped. At the same time, we are building up the army back at home. Another shuttle, another Reaver. Storm is almost done. And Brutal Storm does hit different. It hits different, man. I was trying to bait the army in. Here comes the storm. A bit of waste. Doesn't quite land, a little bit too premature. But again, brutal storms do hit harder. Seth Mars does find a shot up. Oh no! Oh my god, massive connection. And he gets another. Better splits. Better splits had a milky cow. Oof. Reaver does get away. Nice control here from Death Mars. And nice control. Oh no! The shuttle! No, I spoke too soon! Leaves the shuttle idle. Shuttle goes down. I believe that was the last Reaver. Yes, that was the last Reaver. Shuttle does F2 back home and won't make it. Yeah, will not make it. We do have a Stargate on the way, and I believe we're getting ready. We're thinking about Sky Toss. We mentioned at the beginning of the game when we saw Plus on Melee that this could be a Ling into Ultra, and it is. Hey, a Ling into Ultra Tech. Not an uncommon style. Working towards Mass Ultra. Behind this, oh, a solid economy here for our making for both red teams, both red players. Yo, Esther Avex, Pappy. Good morning, Pappy. Good morning. I say good morning. Good morning because I'm assuming that you didn't just, or that you just woke up. Oh my god! Yeah, massive storms. I'm assuming you didn't stay up, correct? As Hellions are getting caught out. Nice around, nice catch. Hellions are caught, but we still need more damage here. Arbiters are now on the way. Is that Kadiran Amulets? I believe that is the energy upgrade for the Arbiter, if I'm not mistaken. I think. I'll be honest, it's not too often that we get to see Arbiters in SC Evolution, so I appreciate it. We don't often get there. Need to sleep at 3 hours. Good morning, baby. Good morning. 3 a.m. 3 a.m. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this. That's recall. Oh, okay. Oh, thank you for letting us know. Recall. I mean, nice rotation here, catching a 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks. Yeah, a lot of tanks do go down. Red team caught out of position. Nice storm here on the tanks. Ooh, and likewise, 4 tanks also get caught out. We just rotate. We have to get the hell out of here. Milky Heart does them away. Gets High Templar. Does get Templar, does pull back. Recall, Stasis, plus Energy are the available upgrades unless they change anything since I've been gone. I mean, there haven't been any, I think there was one patch, what, last week? There was just one patch. Which did have some major Brutal Protoss changes. I mean, I say major, it's some decent changes. But I think that's it. There hasn't been much that's changed. They reworked the scout for like the 6th time. They did some big scout changes. They also did mess with the I almost said disruptor with the Reaver. A little bit. Makes sense since Soul Chain was done. Yeah, for sure. Meanwhile, oh my god, he recalled the tanks in. Okay, let's go. Recall the tanks in. No shot. We were not paying attention. We missed it. He recalled in, Batty. 2v2. He's crazy. Yes, he does get on top of the production. Ultras will clean this up. I mean, there's Cloak. Oh, no detection. Yeah, no detection here. No detection. There we go. There's a scan. He does finally scan. The Ultras, they clean up every single tank here. Was the recall worth it? Was it worth it in the end? Ay, ay, ay. As more tanks are somehow waddling in, yeah, we just throw them away. Zardian throwing away tanks. Calm down, Pappy, calm down. As Zardian tells Prominent Supply. I will say that that likewise though, we haven't had the best economy here for blue team, so we can rebuild, we can remax. Death Mars and Guardians, I mean. Storms coming in. Oof. Jesus. It's a lot of storms. Zoning back the ultras. Gotta respect the storms. You know, Death Mars rebuilding those arbiters. Tanks are caught on siege, not bad. Does go for Blinding Cloud. Tanks, they do get thrown away. Oh, let's do get thrown back. Oof. Mass storm of the ultras. Ultras are gonna get thrown away. And that was a recall. I was curious. I was like, that's the vortex effect. What just happened? He recalled across the map. He saved the tanks with the recall. True. That's actually so sick. We just keep recalling tanks. Oh my god. Death Mars, calm down. Calm down. Yeah, recalls the tanks over. Again, I was so confused when I saw the effects because I'm like, again, it's been a while since we've seen recall, but I was like, vortex isn't a thing. What's going on? Ah. He got sucked across the map. Yeah, and with that, the red team is just snowballing out of control. More base is going to be going down. Ooh, the Dragoons, they get left idle. No, they get left idle. Dragoons, they all get thrown away. Yeah, lack of control there from Death Mars, focusing elsewhere. Hey, Rico is crazy. As nice Blinding Clouds, the ultras, they should be able to clean up all the tanks at least. Storms, they come in from behind, catching out the Terran army. Yeah, both Terran armies get caught. As Zardian's tanks, they fall to the ultras. Meanwhile, the tanks all that Milky Hawk falling here to the Protoss. To Death Mars. But again, blue team is broke. Unfortunately, I think blue team is just completely broke here. When it comes to the Zerg economy, we have a one base saturation. That's all we got. Ultras are expensive. ILSLP has nothing left. Meanwhile, when it comes to Milky Cow, I can say the same. Milky Cow also has a very limited economy. Also on a one base, nothing in the main, nothing here at the natural. One base economy. We're broke. Oh, and we're just pushing into the siege line. So we get some Blinding Clouds. That's Blinding Cloud. Mass Storm here on the Ultras. Yeah, it goes to the Storm, and the Ultras, they're going down one after the other. The Dragoons, they just hold their own. They take them down. One Ultra left, down to 0. Yeah, there's the Arbiter, there's a Cloak. And with that, it was the final push. The final fight here for the blue team. That's all they had left. GG gets called. And with that, Death Mars and Zardi, they do claim another win. They take another game. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A much more chaotic back and forth game is what I will say. I mean, I say that we did see the Reaver drop opener just crippled ILSLP so much so early on. What did he go down to? 17 drones in the mid game. It was brutal. He lost 2 mineral lines to the Reaver drops. The Reavers, they just got out of hand. They got out of control, and we saw that ILSLP could not keep up, not against the mass Reaver harass. So he fell behind early on, and he was not able to really keep up with the rest of the players. We had some nice moments from when it came to Milky Cow, when it came to his rotations, but in the end it was the recalls that really did shine here, whether it was recalls aggressing across the map or even saving units as well, non-stop aggression out of the red team. And with that, they do claim game number 3, and now we're going to be loading to game 4, potentially the final game of the series. Potentially going to be loading into Rohana. Here we go. Oh, as we are switching things up quite a bit here. Okay. Once again, we are switching races. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Rohana, we do have the... we have the blue Terran play. We have once again the Brood War Terran alongside the SC2 Zerg. It is Milky Cow and Ioso. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the red team. We do have the Brood War Protoss and the SC2 Protoss. It is Deathmars and Zardians. Oh boy. Let us go. Double Protoss. I mean, typically in 2v2s, mirrored teams are the worst thing you can have in 2v2s. Double Protoss, double Zerg, double Terran is typically worse off than a mixture of the two, just because you don't really cover yourselves and you're just kind of lacking when it comes to the utility you have to support your opponent, or your teammate I should say. But how does that work in StarCraft Evolution? Because I will say there are some similarities between the two versions of the game, but they are different races, right? Like SC2 Protoss and Brood War Protoss are very, very different from each other. So this is kind of in effect two different races here working together here, and they can help try to cover up each other's holes, be more aggressive, be more active, and kind of make up for each other's deficits, I should say. And we'll see how we all come together here. We'll see how we build up. Curious. Again, Reaver Drop openers are common, so I'm leaning towards Reaver Drop play out of Zardians. We could see some Blink aggression out of Deathmars. We could see some Sky Toss. We'll see. Bugs me so much as the texture messily painted underneath the decal below the town hall in the main. Kind of sticking out. Ah, no. I like this. Do you mean like the off-colored this? You mean this? Like the off-color like rounds? It's like sand, it looks like? It looks like sand as opposed to like the clean. Yeah. Yeah. I understand. I understand. Don't, it's fine, don't worry about it. Look, it kind of fits with the theme, you know, that there's like some sand patches here and there, you know, it's fine, it's fine. It's just a very messy base, okay? They haven't swept up yet. There's no Roombas, there's no cleaning bots. True. There's no bots. But otherwise, a big shout out to Pecoeta. No. But shout out to Pecoeta. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing for 15 months. Oh my god, over a year of support. Thank you so much, Pecoeta. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Don't look at the main ever again. What do you mean? You mean this? Now, I can't unsee it either. Okay, I'm going to blame you, Avex. I cannot unsee it. Cannot unsee the messy main. As we are going for an early sim timing, so this time we do have a proper 3x sim timing here out of Milky Cow. Does commit. At the same time, we have shield batteries, we have cannons to defend, and we have a depths on the way here for Deathmars. Ay. So it is still going to be the Reaver Drop opener out of Zardians, but a declare the depths instead. And we'll see if the players can hold here against that early sim timing. Now, thankfully for our Protoss team, it is only the Bio Army here. There's no link support. For the most part, we're just droning. For the most part, Alsop is just droning, just teching. Alsop is being very, very greedy, going up into lair tech. Because of that, one lone Terran cannot break this natural. We'll threaten the Cybercore, though. Cybercore is threatened. Does catch fire, and will go down. So nice pickoff. But that is not stopping what comes next. That is not stopping the Reaver Drop. This amount of adepts should be a tell. Should be a tell here for the Terran. Here comes Great Drive. This feels late. Wait, what? Maybe because of the early aggression here and the early investments, but Great Drive is delayed more so than usual, as it's usually lined up with the first drop. We're down with the army. He commits. Oh my god. Yeah, glaive dips are now done. Glaives are ready, and Marines, they get bullied back. They're gonna get the hell out of here. No, the medics. Yeah, medics are falling. Diving on the final units. And remember, there's nothing from the Zerg. There's no... like, we've been so greedy here, droning up to how many? Droning up to 53. Yeah, drone did saturate. We have Lings on the way to defend. These are going to be 0-0 vanilla Lings. Boys are being pulled. SCVs are going down. And Milky Cow, everything's just on fire here. Oh, God, losing so many SCVs. And here comes the Reaver. He's coming. Oh my God. One shot goes off. Yeah, one shot goes off. So far, a very efficient trade here for the Protoss. Reaver did take a lot of hits on the way, though. And that was mainly focusing and fixating damage here on the Terran. Meanwhile, the Zerg player has gone away with their economy now from here, going to 1-1 upgrades. Is that the Hive? Wow, rushing into Hive Tech. I believe the goal is to rush into Ultras. Attempting to rush into Ultra Tech. We'll see if ISOP can survive long enough to get there. Meanwhile, the third base is surrounded. Does force a cancel. Reaver's able to defend. Ed up to get across the map, and there's not much at home to defend. Yeah, once again, the boys are being pulled. Once again, Milky Cow sacrificing his economy. Oh no, it's the only way. Nice kiting with the Adepts. Ooh, does push too far forward. Yeah, doesn't kite back. Shades into the main. Lings will clean up. And Milky Cow, he's... oh no, we're just bullying the Terran. Oh my God. Yeah, massive shots go. Though the shuttle goes down, Reaver as well, but a miscontrol there from Zardians. Yeah, it does miscontrol. It's cleaned up. In the end, Milky Cow is down to 5 SCVs. Sorry, he's down to 7. 7 SCVs left. Milky Cow, he's out of this game, but who's in? The Zerg. Yeah, it does get a full surround. Nice catch you on the 3 Dragoons. Lings, they force a cancel. And here comes that Ultra Cavern. Now, can ISOP 1v2? Can he 1v2 with Mass Ultra? I mean, Reavers won't be the worst unit against Ultras, is my big concern, but there aren't that many. And Zardian did lose a lot of Reavers, so the Reaver count is non-existent. It is Mass Adept. Where are we teching, by the way? Interblink Stalkers, no Robo, no Immortals, by the way. The Deathmars, they're not really respecting what ISOP is up to. They're not fully aware, but they should be. Seeing Mass Ling should either be Mutas as a transition or Ultras, one or the other. And ISOP, he was left to his own devices. So we got 4 Ultras on the way, and I don't think there's an answer for this. There's no answer. There's gonna be just mass gateway units and 1 Reaver. Yeah, brutal supply block. Second Reaver is heavily delayed. Here comes the army, here come the Ultras, and this can end the game. Now, how many Ultras are there? True. Soon to be 5. 5 Ultras, is that enough? He's going in, locks down the Dragoons. Yeah, no reaction, no response. Dragoons are trapped. Adepts are coming from behind, they try to free them. Ultras, they collapse in. Jesus. But no upgrades. Kind of splitting is not done. Yeah, a bit of an anti-timing here. Kind of splitting is not yet done. The Reaver does waddle in. Oh, shot gets wasted. Reaver goes down. A massive pickoff. Yeah, the Reaver does fall. Ultras, they're trying to bust into the natural. 1 Ultra goes down. This 1 Ultra left. No, just 1. Yeah, 1 left. Does fall. Now, they will take down the low ground. They will take down the 3rd. But they cannot break the natural. Stalkers, they blink away. Once again, Mass Ling moving in. Where's the Reaver shot? Doesn't connect. And once again, no Reaver shots. And we're going for the kill. We're going for the throw. So GG gets called, and he does 1v2. And with that, we have a back and forth. We have a series. ISOP and Milky Cow take game number 4. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, they did a great job when it came to harassing across the map and harassing and killing Milky Cow, but there was no immortal transition. Instead, Blink Stalker. There were no immortals behind this. Likewise, Reavers were being killed one after the other. We did not see a Reaver shot towards the end. There was no answer to the Mass Ultra, and the Ling Ultra did flood, did overwhelm. GG. GG. GG, well played. With that, we do have a back and forth series. Milky Cow and Alcel, they do put a point on the board. And once again, we are race switching here. Are we going back to basics? Are we going back to what we did previously? We're loading into Reclamation. Yep, here we go. Spawning in the top side here of Reclamation, we do have the Brood War Terran player. We have the blue Terran for 3D Clan. We also have the SC2 Zerg for 3D Clan. It is going to be Alsop and Milky Cow. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have our opponents. We have the Brood War Terran, we have the SC2 Protoss, it is Death Mars and Zardiant. Let's go. We're here. We are back. Once again, this is kind of how we began the series, and my eyes are on our two players here. We're expecting Skytoss and we're expecting Mech. Now, we have seen Death Mars mix it up and go either Skytoss or go for a Blink Stalker regression, go for Early Storm. We have seen some diverse play from Death Mars, but from Zardian, it's just been Mech. It's just been Mech, and then more Mech, whenever he plays Brood War Terran specifically. So that is what we're expecting. Now, welcome to Reclamation. Reclamation does have a shared natural, but there are multiple entrances. That I do appreciate. There's two entrances here into the natural base, so there are different angles of attack. Likewise, when it comes to the low ground expansions, it is on the low ground. There's high ground behind it, so these are exposed bases that can be difficult to defend, or you can spread yourselves thin and take the bases on the right-hand side instead and try to expand in that way instead. I'll go for that kind of direction, that trajectory. We'll see how our players will approach this. Let's go. Unfortunately, there's no scuffed textures here in the main. Feels bad, man. As we have our 3-rack stim opener here from our Terran. No surprises here. Going for the 3-racks. Building up. That is Milky Cow's go-to. Here we go. As from here, we do have the Academy now on the way for our Terran player. Again, 3-rack stim. No rush into the Academy, so no rush into stim. It is just going to be more of a mid-game setup, and the probe does confirm. Yeah, there's a ping on the Academy. Every time. I love it. Brings me back to the early 2000s. There's a couple of like key like sound effects that bring me back. It's the Academy sound effect. It is the tank sieging. Like that, I feel like the tank siege like sound effect is very iconic, at least to me. Like hearing the hydraulics move and like the gas dissipate. So that pokes into the main base. Ooh, late queen. Wait, what? Yeah, very late queen here, and we do get a drone kill so far, denying mining time. At the same time, Glaives are on the way behind this, so Death Mars going for a very aggressive follow-up. Meanwhile, we do have Zardiant likewise going into his own mech army, but going into Spider Mines, not rushing into siege mode. So we're going into a more heavy Vulture setup here, much more aggressive build. It's going to be Mass Glaive Adepts and Massive Vulture. Battlecruisers talking, yeah, true. Battlecruisers being operational. Just in general, like, yeah. I don't know what it is, but a lot of the Brood War effects elicit more memories to me than the SC2 effects. A lot more iconic. So it's good to hear them again, and good to hear them being used in another way. Oh, the nostalgia. Yo, as we're not just going into Massive Ultra, we're going into Cloak Wraiths. Okay, interesting. 2 ports at double Wraith production. Let's go. The sound of the Marine shooting from Brood War is more bassy. It is. The SC2 Marine sound effect, it's a little bit more would I say higher pitch? Like it's different, of course. A little bit more hollow. If that makes sense. Just lighter. Which isn't a bad thing. But just different. As now we're getting to ion thrusters. That is going to be vulture speed. And here we go. Now it is go time to get the Mass Adepts, Mass Vulture. We're pushing out across the map. That is an upgrade that I am not familiar with. I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever seen that upgrade before in my life. Huh. Interesting. Is that like an energy upgrade for the raid? Question mark. Meanwhile, race they do bust into the main. Force the skin as they distract Adepts. They do bust in. And they annihilate those lings. Lings are going down. Army does break through, shading to the mineral line. At the same time, Adepts shading towards the main. Vultures, I feel like they're wasting the DPS here on the left-hand side. There we go. Now they move in. We can get on top of the queens. No. Yes, some basic control here from Zardiant. Distracted with the race, of course. And the vultures, they don't really do too much. The vultures are denied, but Adepts they did pay for themselves. They did wreak havoc, and drones did fall. Vultures back into the mineral lines. Let's go. They hit the natural. And as it settles here, what do we have left? We have 33 drones for the Zerg player. ISOP, his economy has been crippled. I will say that the Terran economy is looking decent. It's okay. He didn't really lose too much in the race, but instead it is the Zerg who is hurting. It is going to be the Zerg. Behind this, we're going to be switching things up. Still more race in production going for the science vessel. Sorry, for the science facility. Still being active and actually going into BC production. Okay, now with the facility going to mass BC. Makes sense to make use of those starports. Meanwhile, when it comes to our Protoss, it's switching to Blink. Blink is now done. Ooh, trying to bait the army into the spider mines. Trying to bait him in. Another race. Ooh, the race gets thrown away. Losing 1, 2, 3 race for nothing. And missing control of Zardians. Oh, nice mine shot. Mine goes off the Marines. Making now 3 BCs at a time. Now double factory. It's double army, double upgrades. The race, hey, they still find value. Soldiers just had their way with the ByuN army here, which still just came in production. Catching more units. The Yamato is now on the way. Do we get to see the mass BC come into play? Let's go. The BC is another unit that has been patched again so often over the past year. I want to say like 5, 6 different patches have adjusted BCs. At this point, I remember they did have a recent change when it comes to their attack rate and their HP pool. Previously, they did have a much higher like armor and base armor and base HP, but I think that was reduced. The rationale was that the battlecruiser was less mobile than the SC2 BC, so they tried to make up for that by making it stronger, but it proved to be a little bit too good, so then they kind of pulled back on that, and then they increased the movement speed of the BC instead. So there have been a lot of adjustments for the battlecruiser. A lot of changes. Species, they move out. They start their push. It's time to pure away. Oh. Getting a queen, hitting the mineral line. The Marines, they do have to respond. There's no anti-air for the Zerg. Marines are sim in. Do sim in, and there's no kiting. Ooh, yeah, there's no kiting back here, so one BC should go down. Gets one. Lacking control from Zardians. Stalkers, ooh, they get caught out as well. Big missteps here from Death Mars and Zardians. Losing BCs and losing Stalkers. Getting have to fixate on my unit micro. Yamato going off for the queens. Catching up more drones. The kiting against the bio. Not like this. And Death Mars is switching to Sky Toss. We got 2 Stargates and a Fleet Beacon. We're switching it to Sky Toss. Goliath production has begun. That will help, but these BCs, they're just bullying the Marines. They bully. And that's a full mineral line, by the way. That's as I also did not pull away. Did not pull away his drones. He's still rallying in, actually, so more drones being thrown away. Ultras, they do not shoot up. We have a Spire now. We have some Corruptors, but again, this is so heavily delayed here for the Zerg. Stalkers, they commit in. Oh, it's going to be a one-way trip. He's blinking into the main. We have some BC support, but that's a lot of Stalkers going down. Boys being pulled. Okay, nice economic damage. As boys are pulled into their deaths. BCs, they knock down more expansions. They kill more bases. Because again, these Stalkers, they cannot get out of this. Oof. Zimbabwe's are connecting. Ultras, they go for a massive counterattack. They run through the minefield. Oh, the mines! Oh my god. Yeah, the mines, they punish the Ultras, and with that, Death Mars and Zardian, they've done it. They've done it. They've crippled the economy of Iosob. They've shut down the main army as well. Milky House still has a force to work with, but he has no economy, not anymore. The Adept harass, the Vulture harass, into Wraith harass, into Mass BC is just too much. GG gets called. And with that, Death Mars and Zardian, they will claim this series. They will claim the Showmatch. GG. They will claim the series 5-1. GG, well played. I appreciate that we saw some diversity here. The first 2 games were a little bit more one note. If you remember, the first 2 games were just Mech and Sky Toss. Mech and Sky Toss. But we did see that they did mix things up, switching up their races, switching up their builds, switching up their styles. Even here towards the end, seeing Mass Adept with Vulture Harass into Wraith, into BC, into Mass Wing Stalker, into Sky Toss. Like, again, much more diverse play here from both Zardians and Death Mars. I appreciate it. Do appreciate that diversity. GG. GG, well played. They do come out on top. Speaking of diversity, this is my big criticism for Milky Cow, is that he did open up almost the same way every single game whenever he played Brood or Terran. There was one game where he went for an earlier stim timing, but that was only once. That was on Rohana, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that was on Rohana where we saw the earlier stim timing. But even then, if you remember, I also was being hyper greedy, so there was no all-in. There was no aggression plan there. So yeah, it was a little bit lackluster there from Milky Cow. ISOP as well was trying to vary things up a little bit. We saw some Ling Hydra Lurker play. We saw some Ling into Ultra quite a lot as well. But outside of that, not much else. Game 1 did have an intense late game back and forth, but again, they had just a really hard time maintaining their economy, and that was the case for the entire series. GG. GG, well played. With that, congratulations. Congratulations to both Zardians and Death Mars for claiming the win and for claiming their series. And with that, we have wrapped up our first show match. Here we go. I say it for a show match because now it is time for the main event. Now it is time for the big names to face off against each other in a best of 9 1v1. We'll get into it, of course, but up next we're going to be going on a short break, and when we come back we will have a best of 9 SC Evo show match between who? Between Classic and ByuN. Oh boy. The best of 9 is coming, Pappy. For now, we're going to be going on a short break. Going to be going on a very short break, and when we come back, we will have that best of 9. See you soon in a couple of moments. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of the broadcast. Welcome back to the main event. Welcome back with some StarCraft Evolution. Of course, earlier we were live with the 2v2. We were live with Zardiant and Death Mars up against Milky Cow and Iosop in a StarCraft Evolution 2v2 best of 7 show match. But now it is time for the main course. Now it is time for a best of 9. Not a best of 7, but a best of 9 TVP between ByuN and Classic, also in StarCraft Evolution. Welcome to the Enki Epic Series number 8. This is a monthly show match series. Every single month, we do have the Enki Epic Series and we have the Enki Pro Series. They both sound similar to each other, but just so you know for future reference, if you ever see the Enki Pro Series, that is for SE2. Enki Epic Series is for Brood War, or for StarCraft Evolution, I should say. So 2 different show match series. One is for SE2, the other is for StarCraft Evolution, and this of course is the SE Evo show match of the month. Let's go. Let us go. Again, a big shout to Enki. Enki, for those who do not know, he's a fellow CranKy Duckling, is one of our own. He's El Hermoso, Papi El Hermoso. We do give him a raid from time to time. He's a Spanish caster. He's a near, dear, and good friend, and of course he's one of the CranKy Ducklings as well. And he does host these events on a regular monthly basis. And of course, as he's a fellow CranKy Duckling, he does allow us to cast it live. Unfortunately, we were unavailable to cast it live, so we're going to be casting it via replays a couple of days after the fact. A couple of days later. Let's go. Let us go. So we're here, we are back, we are live, and we are jumping to game 1. Game 1 is going to be on Holy World. Let's go. Let us go. And I'm really excited because, again, we haven't really been able to cast much StarCraft Evolution this year, even though there have been some tournaments, right? There have been some tournaments, there have been some events. Oh, hold on. There have been some tournaments, there have been some events, and we have yet to be able to embrace too much SE Evo this year. Now we can finally start focusing on jumping into more StarCraft Evolution content. Let's go. Let us go. As we do need a moment here. Un momento. Just catching up with the chat. Este 36. Classic ByuN best of 9. Sí, papi, sí. Best of 9. Now, when it comes to StarCraft Evolution, I would say that Classic is the best Protoss. He's the best Protoss in StarCraft Evolution, and I think I would say ByuN is the best Terran. When it comes to SE Evo, the player pool is a little bit smaller, so players like Maru, he doesn't play. Bunny doesn't play either. But who does play StarCraft Evolution? ByuN does, and Cure has been dabbling a little bit. Cure, he has been a little bit more active in the StarCraft Evolution scene, so I want to like hold off judgment on where Cure stands amongst the rest of the SE Evo players. I'll say that currently ByuN is the best Terran player in StarCraft Evolution, but Cure could threaten him as Cure gets a little bit more invested into StarCraft Evolution itself. Like, he's one of the newer, he's kind of like the newer, one of the newer like adoptees of SE Evo. One of the newer players that has stepped into the SE Evo scene. But here we go, spawning in the top left hand corner of Holy World, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the SC2 Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brood War Terran player. We have the Teal Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Let's go. Let us go. We are here, we are back, and welcome to Holy World. And this is one of the favorite things, one of my favorite things about StarCraft Evolution is the map pool. This is a ported Brood War map, ported over into StarCraft 2, and it's a very unique map. What is it? A 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in bottom right, top left, and bottom left as well. So 3 possible spawn locations. But, oh, as we're going straight for the cross scout. So Classic, I believe he does move out across the map. We have some neutral disruption webs in the center of the map as well, on the pentagram. Bear that in mind. So we do have our webs thrown down at each corner. So that can come into play when it comes to these main engagements in the center of the map. Meanwhile, one of the big features, as Classic does scout him immediately, by the way, but one of the big features here of Holy World is the low ground main. This, I don't think this has ever been done in StarCraft 2. Like, it's crazy. Like, again, when it comes to Brood War maps and Brood War restrictions on what you can and cannot do on a map, Brood War is so much more free. There are so many less restrictions on Brood War. Like, they have 4-player small maps. Like, they have neutral disruption webs. Like, they have a neutral CC, by the way. There's a neutral CC dead set in the center, and you have a low ground main, which is crazy. It does mean that early game aggression is more brutal because you're stuck on your main. Like, your natural is, it can be so difficult to even get into your natural if there's an all-in coming your way, if they take over this portion of the ramp of the base. As the probe does get away, the probe does escape, ByuN does expand, he does go for his own racks in the factory into CC here on the high ground. Not just that, we do have the pocket third base behind the main base, and you have a quote-unquote pocket fourth base as well. I say quote-unquote because this fourth base can be attacked from the other side of the mineral patches, of course. So it can be attacked from the other side. On top of that, because of the low ground, drop play can be more brutal, can be more difficult to deal with when it comes to drops into the main, drops behind the main as well. Like, again, the main base is just so much less safe compared to other maps. It's less secure. So much more insecure main. But again, Classic does find ByuN immediately. ByuN is not fully aware. ByuN is also searching. Moves out with his vulture, and ByuN is going into mech. Okay, I was leaning towards bio, but no. We have 3 factories on the way. We're going into massive vulture. We're going for the early, I would imagine, a machine shop, into spider mine, into iron thrusters, into early vulture timing. So ByuN does one of 2 things in Brood War, in StarCraft Evolution. Either he goes for the early sim timings, or he does go for the mass vulture play. Here it is going to be mech. It's going to be mass vulture. First vulture does move in. Getting 1, getting, oh, just the 1 probe so far. Getting 2. And 2 probe kills, also does scout, does confirm Classic's location. Another vulture does arrive, getting another probe. Can we get another 2? Barely another 2. 5 even. 5. 3 extra probes go down, 5 in total. Meanwhile, Classic did go he went gate expand into Stargate into a fast 3rd Nexus. Greedy play here by Classic, gets punished for that greed. Does get punished. If we have any Korean speakers in the chat, would appreciate some translations as I quickly open up my Google Lens. Players can get very, very chatty in StarCraft Evolution. Un momento. Okay. Classic. He was like, why is it so fast, in reference to the vulture? And ByuN's like, this is great. No. In regards to the vulture harass earlier. Meanwhile, the Oracle does get across the map, and where's the anti-air? 0 anti-air. No shot. Nothing shoots up. Nothing shoots up. ByuN, he never scouted the tech. He never scouted the tech. That's going to be critical damage. 5, 6 SVs going down. At the same time, vultures, they dive into the bases, but we have a defensive Oracle as well. And Classic is all over ByuN. He's all over him. He will clean up every single vulture. I would say he could have done a little bit more damage, but the Oracle does run out of Enki, so does race back home. But again, so far, ByuN, he is hurting. He's hurting. We do have a full wall here at the natural this time. So Classic is fully walled up. He's fully walled off. And ByuN, he needs to saturate that natural base. Turrets are on the way. He's throwing down those turrets. Behind this, still committed here into vulture tech. Armory's on the way. The army does unlock Goliaths, for those who are unaware. So he's taking up into Goliath production. Vulture's ready for another backstab, but again, this time we do have a proper wall. This time there is SimCity. Here come the Goliaths. As I mentioned, we do need the armory to unlock said Goliath production. Oracle's ready for the dive. There is 1 turret in each mineral line. Is that going to be enough? As we have 3 Oracles diving in. The Goliaths just in time. They pop out. 1 Goliath goes down. Gets 1. Ooh, does trade 1-to-1. The second Goliath does fall. These Goliaths, they do hold their own. They do punish. And the Oracles get zoned away. Yeah, the Oracles are zoned away. Vulture setting up spider mines outside of the bases. We do have I don't know the name of this upgrade, but it is the upgrade for the Goliaths themselves. Goliath upgrade. I believe it does provide increased range, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, I can just quickly look it up. Oh. That spider mine is for the most part being cleaned up. No, Revelation. No! Oh, Jesus. That was close. Revelation does miss. Scan into the main reveals that Blink is on the way. No weird switch into Sky Toss. The upgrade is Karen Boosters. That's it. Karen Boosters. But yes, it does increase the range of the Goliath attack. Oh! Ooh, big connections. Massive connections here. As we do get how many? That's 3 Stalkers going down. Very nice connections with the Spider Mines. Classic claiming his 4th base. Again, like the 4 base setup here is relatively secure, except for, of course, this can be punished by the mineral line, by the economy. The economy can be punished. For now, we're slowing things down. We're building up. More factories, more mech. Now into tanks. Bearing in mind that siege mode has not been researched, that's a little bit of a concern. So hopefully ByuN does recognize that he needs that upgrade. Oracles, they do threaten the natural. No Goliaths in position. There is a turret. Going for the stasis trap instead. Let's go for the stasis. Catching at 2 SCVs. There it is. It looks like the tanks they just tried to siege, and now he does realize, hold on, do you need siege mode? So siege mode is being researched. Gotta be careful about the disruption webs. Gotta take care. Oh, so far one tank goes down. Nice pickoff. Baits the army in. Ooh, baits him into the stasis. Yeah, nice bait here from Classic. If you're curious what disruption web is, think of it like blinding cloud. Think of it like a neutral blinding cloud, and of course it does affect any unit inside it. Technically, it is technically it's more effective than a blinding cloud. As I believe it also does dissuade any like effects. Sorry, I meant to say spells. Oh, as another stasis goes off. Classic coming in from behind. We spoke about this earlier, but the main base is much more exposed on this map. Yeah, there's so many ways in. Stalkers they blink into the mineral line. They catch some SCVs. Yeah, 3, 4 SCV kills, and even going for the upgrades as well. And ByuN is completely out of position. Yeah, completely called out. The mobility of mech. At the same time, the 4th base, sorry, the 3rd base is going to be delayed. Yeah, big delay in the 3rd. Stalkers they blink away. Can he force a cancel? 3 more volleys. Ooh, does force a cancel. Yeah, massive pickoff. There's a recall back home. 4 Stalkers get away. And ByuN is crippled. ByuN has been crippled. We got to make something happen with this army. We got to send it, baby. We got to send it. Back at home, Classic is getting ready for the anti-mech army with mass immortal production. So he's making more immortals. Storm is on the way. Classic, he can hold his own. I love that siege mode sound. As again, Classic is not aware of the army's position. Free tank shots. Yeah, free tank shots. Spider Mines as well. Cashing out a couple of zealots. Trying to bait the army in. But again, Classic is just engaging in the center while he waits for Storm. Just waiting for Storm, or waiting for +2, waiting for the upgrades. ByuN, he does bypass the army. Ooh, going for a counterattack, but there are defenses back at home. Yeah, there are plenty of units to defend. Nice setup with the Spider-Man. Okay, I do like this. Sets up the minefield. Baits him in. Ooh, massive connections. It takes out most of those zealots. But the High Templar, they do survive. Classic pushes, claiming a 5th. And ByuN is still stuck back at home. Again, the reason why ByuN has such a hard time getting into the mid game is because the economy, is because how many workers did he lose? He lost 12 SCVs earlier, but he also had a delayed 3rd base. He was forced to cancel due to lack of economy. That leads into the lack of army as well. That's why Classic has such a massive army supply. He's been the aggressor. He's been able to maintain map control. And ByuN has been struggling. As once again, Stalkers, they're coming from behind. Comes in. Oh, that tries to tries to come in from behind. This time ByuN is ready. That's a lot of mines. Jesus. Yeah, the minefield is set up. Oh, Storm on the vultures. Vultures, they do catch 1 High Templar. one Templar goes down. Observer does spot the minefield. I love that every single time ByuN does rotate to set up mines specifically in this location, but Classic is aware. He's caught on. Meanwhile, Fleet Beacon's on the way into Sky Toss. ByuN, he doesn't really have much anti-air. He's fixated on Vulture Tank. Few Goliaths. And again, ByuN is stuck on 3 bases. There's nothing pressuring Classic. Classic is getting a sick. He's getting a sick expansion, baby. Classic does not need to push in. I mean, the only reason why he needs to push in is to free up supply for Tempest. Just free up supply. Perfect the army. Going for the Immortal drop. Stalkers, they pick away at the army. Oof. Tank blow is going up. Drop into the bases. Goliaths have arrived. We're slowly building on more Goliaths. Classic has to be careful. He's going to be collapsing in. He goes for it. And again, he's trading. He does trade out the Zealots. Takes down all the Vultures, getting on top of the tanks. And tanks are falling one after the other. Just so many Immortals here. He breaks through the siege line. One Immortal goes down. He gets one, he gets 2. Takes down 2 Immortals, but the rest, they make their way in. And Immortals, they just cut through the tanks. The mass Immortal, papi. Who needs Sky Toss? Who needs Storm? Not a single Storm landed. There's plenty of Storms still available, by the way. Oh, as the Immortals are low. Yeah, the Immortals are low. They have to be careful. They take over the natural. ByuN is stuck on a 2-base economy. Classic takes more bases. 7 expansions. Vermeer backs up. A Mothership is on the way. And again, I would not be opposed to Tempest production at this point. Even Carriers have their place here as well. Carriers aren't ideal, but when you're this far ahead, I mean, make whatever you want. Like, do as you please, back. So more Stargates, a second Cyber Core to make 2 upgrades at a time. No switch in the Sky just yet, but again, he doesn't really need to. Checks for the 4th. 8th expansion on the way. This one I would have liked to have seen some Tempest, just because once again it's going to be difficult to break this siege line for the 2nd time. At this point, you know what I would say actually? Classy, just get a Nexus here and start opening up this wall. Just get a Nexus, open up the wall, or I guess the other option is the Mothership. Recall. Mothership is out. Mothership is coming, and we can just recall right into the main. And there's a massive hole here in the defense in the main base. You can see we have the siege line, we have the Widow Mines, sorry, the Spider Mines. ByuN, he's secured as natural, but the main base is completely exposed. No turrets even to deter. I mean, he can't afford it, right? Like, there's reasoning for that. Like, ByuN just had a really shaky early game, and specifically mid game. Here comes the recall. He's going in. There it is. Recalls into the main. ByuN's like, leave me alone. Not like this. Factory's going to be going down. Massive slow zone. Throws down the time warp. Storm in the choke points. As there are still plenty of storms left. Oof, Jesus. Storms do land. And with that, yeah, there's almost nothing left here. GG gets called, and Classic, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, as we mentioned, the game was decided like 5, 6, 7 minutes ago. As we mentioned, Classy did an amazing job when it came to abusing the map itself. As we spoke about, one of the big downsides of the map of Holy World is just how open and exposed the main is. And we did see that, oh, sorry, I can set this up. But we saw how exposed it was, and we saw how much difficulty, or how difficult it was for ByuN to defend, to keep up with the aggression, to keep up with the Blinkstalker rotation into his main base, and towards his pocket expansion, where his third base was cancelled as well, was denied, lost so much of SCVs. Likewise, the Oracle Harass was also brutal as well, just really, really shaky early to mid game from ByuN. We'll see if we can clean things up and tighten things up here in game number 2 as we load into Vermeer. Let's go. Let us go. So we are loading the game at number 2. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Vermeer, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the now Brood War Protoss representing Protoss Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the SE2 Terran player, the Teal Terran for Shopify. It is ByuN. Here we go. As we are loading into Vermeer, this is another 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in bottom left, bottom right, top left, and top right as well. So we do have multiple spawn locations. ByuN, he knows that Classic is either top left or top right. Classic knows that ByuN is either top left or bottom left as well. So both players are aware that there is no one spawning in the bottom right hand corner location. So there's at least one location that is limited from the possibilities of where they could be. What I mean by that, specifically in StarCraft Evolution, I think it's a really nice change that they did, and I would love to see this in the base game of SE2. But at the very beginning of the game, as you can see on the minimap, there, both players receive pings, and it eliminates one possible spawn location. So Classic knows that ByuN is not bottom right, and ByuN knows that Classic isn't bottom right either. So they both know that about each other. That does make it a little bit easier when it comes to scouting on a 4-player spawn map to confirm the location of your opponent. So it does make it a little bit easier. It does eliminate a little bit of randomness to the spawn locations and to scouting. So again, it's a nice change for SEVO, and I would love for that change to be implemented into StarCraft 2 if 4-player spawn maps are reintroduced. I feel like it's a nice like middle ground where you can still have 4-player spawn maps, but you can get rid of a little bit of the random nature of how all-ins would hit if you have a late scout. But here we go. Here we go. Otherwise, we're going to be opening up. Remember, it is loser's pick. So ByuN, after losing game 1, he did pick to commit into SE2 Terran. He's forcing the Brood War out of Classic. Is going to be Robo Opener. We mentioned this in the 2v2, but Robo Openers are very common in StarCraft Evolution. Should be Robo into the Robotics Bay in towards Reaver drops. So shuttle into shuttle speed, into Reaver drops, into Gravitic Drive. That is kind of the go-to. Probe does scout ByuN, does confirm, and the probe gets away. And I think this is commenting on that. Hold on. Ah. Oh, TT. So ByuN, he said, why isn't he dying again? If you remember, in game 1, the probe also got away. The SC2 probe, here the Brood War probe gets away as well. But I think it was hunted down. Yeah, it was hunted down by the Reaper. Class was like, you got it. ByuN's like, true, TT. Crying face emoji. As here comes the Bay, here comes the initial Reaver play. Reaver is in production. Oh, we actually went for the earlier observatory. Oh, that I was not expecting. But the earlier observatory. Again, here comes the Reaver. We already have the first shuttle, and there is shuttle speed. Gravitic Drive. So we have the Reaver drop coming. I do expect this to be the opener, especially on these larger maps. We have seen Classic mix things up on smaller maps, going for earlier Zealot aggression and earlier Zealot legs. That is something that we have seen Classic mix in, but those are specifically on smaller maps. So think of Sylphid. Think of Sylphid. That's the only map that comes to mind. Oh, Joe gets spotted. So here comes a shuttle. Again, ByuN is aware of what's coming his way. He's setting up back at home and getting to his own fast third CC. So economic build here by ByuN. Building up his economy. Classic does move in. Dropping into the main, we got 4 Marines to defend. Shot goes off. Nice splits, very nice splits out of ByuN, losing 1 Marine so far. Reaver wants a tank. Ooh, gets 3 Marines, okay, 4 Marines in total. Tank does survive, and the shuttle has to get the hell out of here. Does rotate towards the natural, but another tank is in position. Reaver's low. Oof. Yeah, Reaver is low. The Reaver gets abandoned. No, can he get away? Oh, there's a skin, but the shuttle does barely pull out. 4 SCV kills. Dragoon was abandoned, was left behind. But Classic came back for the Reaver. He barely saved it. He gets the hell out of here, pulls back home. Whew, does pull back, and this I was not expecting. This is crazy. Again, this is a large map in the map pool, long rush distance by ground, but we are going from a Reaver drop opener into carriers. Very, very fast carrier switch here by Classic. If ByuN pushes in the mid game, if he goes for an earlier move out, he can kill. He can just straight up kill. What I'm concerned about though is that, remember, ByuN, his build was economic. He went for a very fast third CC. So faster third CC, so later stim, later bio setup here. ByuN, he has to be active though. And if he is, he might just kill. He just doesn't, oh, he knows. Yeah, he scouts. Wow, he scouts, he sees, the Reaper gets in, he sees the Stargates, he sees the carriers, and he's going for the kill. He's pushing out across the map, the Observer does confirm, but again, can Classic do anything to stop this? There's no splash damage. I mean, I say that there are Reavers at least. There's 2? Yeah, there's 2 Reavers, that's it. We got 2 Reavers to defend. They're coming in from behind. Oh, gets the tank. Okay. Gets 1, very nicely done. 1 tank goes down. That shuttle is so low. The Reavers are trying to keep up. They're so slow. Oh no. Yeah, Dragoons, they go down one after the other. Reavers are dropping the tank. They get 1. There's 1 tank left. Marines, they stim in. And what is the answer to the Marines? He stims in, Pappy. There's nothing here. Yeah, there's nothing to defend. He's going for the mineral line. Probes are going to go down. Reaver shot. Ooh, Reaver shot. Massive connection. Oh my god. Reaver shot goes off. Ah. The Scarab does dissipate, and that's going to be 17 probe kills. At Classic, he will survive, but some heavy losses for Classic. Again, I split here with the Marines. At the same time, Marines, they get into the third base mineral line as well. We got 1 carrier to defend. We got 1 carrier, Pappy. And again, a very messy defense here for Classic, losing 20 probes. And ByuN's chilling. ByuN, he's up 20 workers. He has 63 workers back at home, 3 base economy. Behind this, going for his own 2nd star, put in a Mass Viking. So Mass Bio, Mass Viking, ByuN, he should be perfectly fine. In a way, yes, Classic did survive, and he gets away with his Sky Toss, but he has no economies to sustain Sky Toss production. He has no economy. ByuN does. So Classic is in trouble. Does zone away the drop. Zone. Again, ByuN is making 4 Vikings at a time. He's getting his Mass Viking. Reaver drop is moving out. I mean, Classic has to get some damage across the map. He has to get into the mineral line some way, somehow. ByuN finds the observers. Still building on more anti-air. Ghost is on the way for EMPs. Oh, that will seal the deal. And here comes ByuN. He's coming. Now, if there was Storm, then I could see Classic holding here, but that's a big if. Big if. Okay, we'll find out the name of this upgrade. I know there are two. There's a capacity upgrade for carriers. I'm assuming that's what that is, unless we already have it. No, yeah, I'm assuming that should be the capacity upgrade, right? To increase from 4. Looks like they got a new asset for it. Yeah, it's literally called carrier capacity. There's a lot of brutal upgrades like that, which are just very literal. Like, there's no like fancy like in lore like name for it. It's just carrier capacity. It's like, okay, just more room. It's more yeah, exactly. What's the upgrade? More interceptors. What does it do? It just gives you more interceptors. It's yeah, there you go. That's what it's called. Yeah, as Vikings, they just chase. They just give chase. They take down one of the carriers already. Ooh. Messy split, and the Vikings are on their own. Yeah, ByuN does overextend. Ideally, want everything to come in together. But we gotta respect those Reavers. So far, I did have a brutal connection. Okay, if Classic, if he can connect with some of these Reaver shots, he can win a fight. Oh, the Ursidon! ByuN. ByuN. Killed the Ursidon back. I mean, sure, he was in the way and was body blocking the bio, but still, I mean... Yeah. As Classic is slowly perfecting his army, Storm is going to finish. With the arrival of Storm, Classic, he's recovered. Like, he has a comparable army here. He's down in supply, but with a well-placed Storm and with almost the purification of his, with Scarab shots, but Classic, he can win this. He can take the fight. How many had Templar? 1. Never mind. The Templar are lacking. There we go. We have the amulet upgrade on the way. That is Templar energy. It's for their energy. Is it Kadiran? Kadiran amulet? Kaldarin? That's right. Ooh, EMP lands. Nice EMP. And nice EMPs. Once again, the Vikings, they do get shelled away at. ByuN's dropping in. Rotates over, denies the base. Denies the expansion. ByuN's was of the army heading into the natural. Nice drop. He gets in. Yeah, Classic out of position. He's rotating. That is going to be 4 probe kills. Nothing major at the same time. Ooh, we do have some counter drop play as well. As Zell said, distract for a moment. ByuN, he does F2 back home. Ooh. Did F2. That does give Classic more time to breathe. Classic is almost maxed out. No shot. Classic was dead, by the way. Classic, he was down 20 probes in the mid game. Like, he was down and out. But ByuN has taken too long. I say that ByuN still has a more mobile composition. Drops into the natural. Cannons are not done. Classic has to respond. At the same time, the main army can deny some of these bases. Oh, the Storm. Oh, nice EMP. Very nice EMP. 0 storms. Carrier goes down as well. The Archon does help, but that's going to be 2 carriers falling. And that's 15 dead SCVs. Sorry, 15 dead probes. 15 dead workers. Classic is being pulled apart. He did max, but alas, he just couldn't make use of the army. Oh my god. The Reavers are exposed. Nice EMP, 1 storm. And Classic will lose everything. He'll lose everything here. the Reavers, the High Templar, the Dragoons, and remember, because of the rough mid-game from Classic, he has no economy. He has all these bases, but no workers. No workers, no mining. The economy was something that Classic never quite recovered on. He was able to build up his army supply, that is true, but he only had one army. Just one and done there. Classic gets forced back. As Vikings, they commit in. I think there's just no support. There is no support. Catching out 1, 2, 3, 4 of these carriers. They're on their own. And with that ByuN, he will tie up the series. He will fight back. Wasn't easy. But he does break through. Does break through. We do get a storm here on the Ghost. They get away. GG gets called, and ByuN ties up the series 1-1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. We're tied up 1-1 here. Winding it back. Remember, we did see Classic be hyper greedy. Winding it back, he went for a Robo Opener into Reaver Drop into Carrier Rush. He just rushed into the second Stargate, into the Fleet Beacon, into Carriers. Very, very greedy play there by Classic, and ByuN scouted. ByuN, his Reaper from the start of the game, survived, went back into the main base, confirmed the Sky Toss, and ByuN pushed. And even though ByuN didn't kill, ByuN did cripple. He killed 20 workers, 20 players went down, did cripple Classic, and that allowed ByuN to build up, to max out, and have momentum. That's why he had map control. That's why he was able to bully back the defending Protoss player, the bully back Classic, and Classic just could not keep up. One of the reasons why he had such a hard time keeping up with the army, one, yes, the army was immobile, but two, it was also not ideal because of the worst economy. It took him longer to get into High Templar, into Storm, to round out his composition, and ByuN had more free reign due to the early damage. GG. GG, well played with that. So we have a tied up series, and we're getting to game number 3, going to be loading into Radion. Oh boy, another older Brood War map. Here we go. The Storm looks a bit better than in SE2. Visually, yes. Visually, I do like the visual effect for Storm in Brood War. Oh, sorry, in StarCraft Evolution. 100%. It does look really sick. The Thunder pack. But here we go. We're getting into our next game. We're going to be loading into Radion, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Radion. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Protoss Pro. It is a classic. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the teal Terran player. We have the Brood War Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. Let's go. No weapons means I pretty much walk like the rest of us. Kind of. Remember, Brood War Protoss does have recall available. Does have mass recall, I should say, as you can build up multiple Arbiters. Unlike in SE2, the Arbiter isn't like a hero unit, so you're not limited to one. So you can like recall into multiple locations. And again, that was the best thing about the opening Showmatch that we had. There was some crazy recall moves that we had in the 2v2. Getting across the map, saving units as well. Shout out to Deathmars for showcasing the Arbiter and showcasing all of those recalls, but that's a lot later in the game, of course, just because of the way to tech up into Arbiters is a lot more convoluted, or it just takes longer to get there if you want to get into that more mobile composition. But outside of that, yes, in general, like the Protoss army is less mobile. To make up for that, though, the Protoss army is generally stronger. There we go. Here we go. For now, welcome to Radion. Radion, I believe, is a 4-player or 2-player. I waited too long. But it is a 4-player spawn map, so you can spawn in at any location. We do have the direct scout here from Classic finding ByuN across the map. ByuN is yet to confirm the location of Classic. But I'm excited because I think this is my first time casting on Radion, maybe my second time. This is one of the newer maps that's been ported over. It is a newer map. So coming into this, we have a very narrow, I say very narrow, we have a relatively narrow entrance into the natural. Of course, there's no ramp, there's no high ground advantage here. At the same time, the main base is looking very secure. Due to the terrain here, it is very inaccessible for something like Blink Stalkers. So Blink Stalkers do not have a way into the main, aside from the entrance here at the natural location, which is a little more defendable. So a pretty secure 2-base setup here for the Terran side of things, I will say that. When it comes to the third location, here we do have a secure area in between the bases. One of the features for a lot of Brood War maps is this this kind of pathway into your third base is often exposed, and there's often a high ground here, and there is there is an area here, but it's a little bit further back, so this pathway is safe and secure. So a pretty safe 3-base setup. We have the center expansion here for the top and the bottom side as well. Nothing fancy. I believe this is high ground. Yeah, this is on the high ground. There's a ramp coming in. It can be opened up. We have steam vents throughout the center of the map as well. The exact center, though, is very open. Ooh, very, very open. When it comes to attempting to engage. Interesting. And we have Xel'Nagas. Oh, Xel'Naga towers on the right and left-hand side, just to help with the size of the map itself. Meanwhile, ByuN, we are loading into a larger map, is going to mech. He's going to mech once again. So he's going into Mass Vulture early on, into Spider Mines. That Classic has yet to really dip in. I should also mention that, like, quote-unquote battle mech or this Mass Vulture style is quite mobile. Does gain map control and can set up all the minefields, and nice body blocking. Takes down the Stalker. Okay, it does take down the Stalker. Behind this Classic, he's building up and taking into Robo. Oh, Robo open at a Classic. That is not normal. Okay, fast Robo into a fast Prism into fast aggression across the map. A very unorthodox build here from Classic. You can see he fully walls off back at home to make sure that the Vultures do not get in. And we have Ion Thrusters on the way. That is Vulture speed. As I mentioned, Vultures are quite mobile, and now even more so. They will gain map control. They will look for a way into the bases. They can always throw down Spider Mines here and try to bait the army into the mines. And just secure map control. Speaking of, oh! Does look for a way in. Double force field. Yeah, one Stalker does pull back to the battery. Nice force field. Locks down one of the Vultures. Does get one. One Vulture goes down. Prism has arrived. Did ByuN see the Prism? Ooh, I don't think he quite was able to spot that. Prism is out across the map. We do have immortal production underway as well. And we'll see if ByuN has any defenses back at home. Thankfully, he does have a spotting Rax. Rax is out here. Did they retain Dark Archon Mind Control? Yeah. Mind Control has been in the game since the beginning of SE Evo. It's there. Is available for Brutal Protoss. Meanwhile, Goliath arrived just in time for the Prism. Oh my god! The Prism gets turned away. Adepts bust into the main, but only 2 Adepts. Yeah, there's only 2. They get 1 SCV. So far, this was not worth it. Adept shades into the natural. Gets potentially 1 more worker. 2. 2 more SCV kills. 3 more even. 3 in total. And Classic does escape with his War Prism at least. Does pull away. But again, ByuN much faster to get into the army and to get into his own Vultures. If you recall, in game 1, he was punished by the Oracle, by the initial Stargate opener, but this time the Goliaths are ready. This time they are ready. Observer does split the mines. Catching at all 3. And Vultures are coming from behind. Nice catch here on getting 1, 2, 3 Stalkers. Oof. Yeah, Stalkers get punished. Remember, there's no blink. Immortal does help, though. Bit of a messy engage, back and forth. And he does retain his tanks. Did I speak too soon? Can he get one? Oh, he gets 1. Yeah, 1 tank goes down. 2nd tank as well. Massive pickoffs. Resets the tank count. Nice juggling here with the Immortal. He juggles. He saves. I'm gonna lose too much. He loses far too much here. Bleeding out 2 tanks, bleeding out all of his Goliaths as well. No anti-air. If only there was blink. If only there was blink back. Otherwise, you could just dive in. Classic, he has yet to scout the third location. He's unaware of the expansion. Dropping into the main. Does drop in, does disrupt some of the production. Not bad. Goliath goes down. Factory as well. Ooh, does miscontrol, losing his immortal. That should not have happened. And then Classy doesn't check. No, he could have denied the third. That could have been a kill. That could have been a cancel. He still doesn't know. Oh, now he sees. Yeah, now he does see. Jumping back in. As the army now finally responds. Back at home, still focusing on his robo production. Charge is complete, and he may kill this expansion. And we can see ByuN trying to rotate, trying to respond. CC does catch fire. Can he kill? And once again, there's no blink, so he can't get under it. Yeah, he cannot get under. CC does float away. Nice flanking with the Archons, getting on top of the tanks. He wants the tanks. Oh good. Spider-Mines do burrow, they catch the immortal. And nice Spider-Mines, but the tanks are on their own and they're unsieged. Yeah, ByuN caught with his pants down. Tanks are on siege, army does dive in. And GG gets called. GG gets called. ByuN caught with his pants down, and Classic, he will take game number 3, taking a lead in this best of 9. GG. GG. Whew, a very chaotic back and forth, and an interesting build choice here by Classic, going for the early Robo into early Prism. It was okay, but what was working for him though, of course, was catching out the army, catching out the Goliaths in the center of the map, catching out the tanks, of course, time and time again, and of course forcing ByuN out of position as he tried to sneak out that third base. It was very, very risky, very greedy for ByuN to take his third on location. It's quite rare to see that, whether it's SE2 or Brood or Terran, so very greedy play there by ByuN. In the end, he didn't get away with it. He tried to save his third, that's why he rotated all the tanks down, but as we saw, that was a bit of a mistake, as there was no way to save the third base, and in doing so, he exposed himself, right? There was, what, 5-6 tanks caught unsieged. GG. GG, well played. Otherwise, the game could have gone on from there. It could have progressed, but GG, well played. Classic does take a lead in the series, and we'll see if ByuN can recover. As we are loading into game number 4, loading into Sylphid. Here we go. So loading into Sylphid, loading into a much smaller map than the map pool. Looking at rough Brutal races this series so far, I mean, I would not say that the last game was the race for. As we mentioned, like, ByuN took a lot of risks, took a lot of chances. As we were trying to emphasize, like, he was the one that did decide to try to get his third on location and to move out to try to save his third base and to be caught, like, out in the open. Like, that's on ByuN. There we go. Here we go, spawning in the top side of Sylphid, we do have the Brood War Protoss player. We have the Brood War Protoss, we have the blue Protoss from South Korea representing Protoss Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Terran player, the South Korean Terran, the SE2 Terran. For Shopify, it is ByuN. The War Prism is blink. The War Prism is specifically defensive blink. The War Prism doesn't allow you to dive on the army and blink forward, unfortunately. But yes, it does allow for a more defensive micro potential to preserve units. But it was a very quirky build out of Classic. And now welcome to Sylphid. From here, we're expecting more aggression out of our Terran player. This is a smaller map of the map pool. It is a 3-player spawn map. You can spawn in top side, right side, or bottom left. So 3 possible spawn locations. And aggression is usually favored here. We go. As from here, we are going to be taking up. This time, there's no 3-rack setup out of ByuN, true. Going for a racks into expand into factory. So no second racks. And likewise, we're expecting a Robo opener into Bay into Reaver. Now, I did say at the beginning of this series how the Robo opener is kind of common, it's the go-to, but we have seen on smaller maps Classic embrace earlier charge builds and go for a Citadel of a Dune. Oh, let's go as we're opening up Dragoon range. Opening up with Dragoon range, and we do have a second gateway as well. Our eyes are open for the Twilight Council and for the Citadel. Eyes are on Classic. Dragoon, he will scout bottom left, looking for his opponent. Is searching. Never mind, still Robo. Yeah, still Robo opener. This is a later Robo compared to game number 2, the game on Vermeer. Specifically, the game on Vermeer, we did see Classic cutting corners. This time does open up 2 gates into Dragoon initially, then into Robo, then into Bay, then into Reaver drop. I was hoping for a Twilight Council play. Not happening. Dragoon's a waddle out. Cycle one, catch the first Dragoon. Second one moves in. Zoning back ByuN. ByuN is zoned away. As again, he does want that Cyclone. Second Cyclone has arrived, and ByuN, he should be able to hold his own. I say that, no repairs. And no repairs on Cyclone. Locals are brutal. Gets 1, gets 2. Ooh, 2 Dragoons go down. Massive pickups. This is not worth it. Yeah, this is not worth it for Classic. He does finally get 1. He does finally get 2 Cyclones. Okay. Oh no. Loses the third Dragoon. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, it does overextend with that second Dragoon. But he does break the natural. Cyclone is still in production. Classic denies mining. So in the end, this was more worth it here. Kills some SCVs, denies mining, containing ByuN on a 1 base economy. It was close though. It was very close and very messy. Even here, another Dragoon goes down. Banshees revealed. Even going into High-Flight Rotors, going to Speed Banshees. Oh my god, the micro. The control pappy. Yeah, the shuttle has arrived. Able to move in. Ooh, local on the shuttle. Remember, there's no shuttle speed. No, there's no speed on the shuttle. And the shuttle cannot get away. Oh, no, my apologies. Does barely get away. 5 HP. Oh, don't get greedy. Don't get greedy. Don't go for the save. The shuttle gets out with 5 HP. Unfortunately, due to its health, I don't think it's wise to go for the Reaver drop anymore. Like, the Reaver is here, but it would be insanely greedy to go for the drop. Remember, the Cyclone is still alive. Yeah, Dragoons, they get thrown away. We got a Cyclone, we got a Viking. He's crazy. No shot. And now he's doing it again. He's switching into Sky Toss. He's going for the switch. So if you weren't here for the beginning of the broadcast, I believe this was the same build or similar build that we saw out of Classic on Vermeer. With Classic, he did open up a Reaver drop. It was a cleaner start, to be fair, but he had a cleaner start, opening a Reaver drop, then into a Skytoss rush, into a Carrier rush build. It looks like that's what we're going for here. Otherwise, there's no reason for a Stargate. Reaver drop into the main. 6 SCV kills, not bad. Does get 6 SCVs, does get away. It was crazy to be active with this shuttle, but he gets away with it. Gets his damage, pulls out. 7 SCVs, not bad. Oh, okay. As the Banshees, they also move out. They can one-shot probes. They can one-shot workers. ByuN, he's embracing mech. He's meching it up. Now, I will say that because this is going to be mech, if the goal is to switch into Skytoss, I do like that. I do like it a lot more because ByuN has a much slower start. But no, it's going to be Stargate into Scout to defend, not into Skytoss, into a ground army instead. This would have been the time for Skytoss, but Classic doesn't know, right? He did not see, I don't think he's seen the additional factories. Oof. Drops into the natural. Banshees are deflected. Scout will defend. Catching more SCVs. Nice harass here from Classic. So far, nice harass. Again, ByuN is slowly building up. He's going to give Classic so much time. I mean, I would have preferred Classic building up to Sky Toss, but regardless of what he gets into, like, Classic has map control. He has freedom to do whatever he wants. As he harasses well, ByuN turtling up and going to mech. He struggles to turtle, struggles to defend. And we are going into mass speedlots. Speedlots, Archons, eventually Storm. ByuN is still on 2 bases. Classic getting a 4th expansion. As ByuN, he can finally start to break out and finally expand. Trying to at least. Tribunals on the way for the Arbiters. We saw a couple of DTs, and once again more shots into the natural. Once again the shuttle. No, he doesn't get away. Finally he gets caught. Oh my god. Yeah, finally caught out. Still a couple of volleys go off, catching out another Cyclone. And finally ByuN defends. But it took so long to shut down that shuttle. Classic's being active. There's no reason to push into the natural, but he can deny the 3rd. He can even kill. He's checking the 3rd location, the linear 3rd base. Banshees, they hit the natural. Druids, they come in from behind. And there's no tanks in position. Yeah, there's no defensive tanks. Ooh, pushing up a ramp though. Yeah, that is brutal. Did miss a couple of shots. Cyclones, they hold their own. They try to. There's 3 seconds left. Oh my god. Yeah, they hold their own. 3rd base is now being taken. Arbiters are on the way. As we mentioned before in the previous game, this is a way to break a turtling player, is to recall into the bases. And recall is being researched. There it is. The recall pack. Classic is going to max out. There's 1 turret in the main. Lack of turrets and lack of defensive setup here is a big gap in the defense for ByuN. This can be abused. Can be abused. Oh boy. Scan does reveal the Tribunal. He knows. It is Kadar and Amulets. Recall is available. Drop into the main. No sensor tower in the main base yet, but does cover the 3rd. Shell gets in. No, he stacks! No! Oh my god, that was close. Yeah, that was so close. Oh no, still brutal connections. 10 SCV is going to be going down. Where exactly is the Arbiter? Just outside the main. He wants more damage. Ah, it's so slow. It's so slow. Oh my god. Cracks is set up. My eyes are still on this Arbiter. 2nd Arbiter is coming. As we mentioned previously, you do have multiple recalls available with multiple Arbiters. Nice armor shred. Nice catch on the main army. Classic getting called out. Yeah, he's getting called out, but here we go. The Arbiter is activated. He's going in. And he's looking for the recall. He's looking for the recall, but is it too late? He's losing too much. They're losing far too much. Where's that recall? Give the recall. Casito. There it is. Yeah, recalls into the main. Doesn't catch too much though, just because so much of his armor was getting caught out. Yeah, some of the army gets left behind. So a small recall into the main. Didn't get much. But it will kill some SCVs. True. Oh, yeah, where are we rallying? No, where are we going? The Reaver. Yeah, Reaver gets caught out. That's going to be 15 dead SCVs. That's a lot of damage. But this could have been so much more. This could have been so much more if Classic wasn't caught out. And now ByuN's going for the kill. He's going for the throat. He's moving out with his main army. Nice stasis. Yeah, nice stasis trap here on the big chunk of the army. Catching up some Cyclones, some Hellbats. Forcing friendly fire. But it's not enough. Yeah, there's just not enough here, not enough army. Classic needs more time. And he will lose the final Arbiter. Oh, barely not. He gets away. 3 HP. Arbiter does pull out. And ByuN's going for the kill, going straight across the map. At the same time, there is a bit of a counterattack, but it's only a handful of Dragoons. ByuN does respond with the entire army, though. Turns on with everything. Arbiter finally goes down. So do all the Dragoons. And now I can push. And now I can move out. And back at home, what is there to defend? Storm was researched, and Storm might be a factor here. But again, this army is just so beefy. The Arbiter does not get away. There's no recall across the map. So I'll take him in from behind for a bit of a counterattack. Catching out the tank. Okay, nice run by. Yeah, so I'll say do trade well, catching out more Cyclones, catching out a Thor. Even getting us, Jesus, even getting us around. And ByuN, he is going to be deterred. These LSA achieve so much damage. 9 SCVs, 2 Cyclones, a Thor. ByuN races back home. ByuN's economy is crippled, and Classic, he's remaxed. Wow, and he recalls in. He gets it. Let's go. A proper recall this time. Recalls into the main. Show us the Storm. Oof. Oh my god. Yeah, Storm does connect on the battle mech. We got one more Storm. He's holding on to it. He's holding on to the Storm. That's going to be 25 dead SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. There's a trade point. Storm is coming in. Yeah, there's a Storm. Massive connection. 30 SCVs going down. The reinforcements, they do hit the third. And ByuN's being torn. He's just being torn apart. He's being torn apart. Oof. Catch up the Raven. Doesn't quite get on top of the Thors. ByuN, he is holding. But ByuN has lost so much here, down to 35 SCVs, down to less than a 2-base economy. Under 2 bases. He's got 2 Thors, 3 tanks, a couple of Cyclones. The army is lackluster, doesn't really have much left. The boys are back. Look at them zoom. As Classic, he's done it. Classic, he has broken his opponents. It was close. It was very, very close. There was a moment earlier where ByuN was pushing, where he almost ended the game. But do you remember, ByuN was turned around. He was forced to turn around. We had the shuttle harass. We had, sorry, the Arbiter harass into the main. The Zealot run by, forcing back the army. There were some key moments there where ByuN was forced to turn around and he bled out too many units. And this is it. GG gets called. GG gets called. Classic, he will put a point on the board. He'll extend his lead even further here, 3-1. GG. Whew, GG, well plays. Again, great use of arbiters, great use of recalls there from Classic. Once again, ByuN, because of his lackluster economy, because of his rough start, he was struggling to afford stack defense. There was these massive openings into the main base. There were no turrets, no sensor towers, so he was woefully underprepared time and time again for the recalls, and Classic did overwhelm. There was a moment where ByuN pushed right through the center where I felt like he could have maybe ended the game. Classic had a really hard time remaxing, but it was the Zealot run-bys that forced ByuN back home. It forced him back home. The Zealot run-bys, Zealot counterattacks, they were the MVPs there for Classic, catching out mineral lines, SCVs, and reinforcements as well. GG. GG, well played. Whew. With that, Classic does extend his lead, and we'll see if ByuN can begin the comeback here. Oh boy. Remember, this is the best of 9. Best of 9, so we still have a couple more games ahead of us here. It is first to 5. First to 5 will claim the win, and Classic is up 3-1. So Classic needs 2 more. Meanwhile, ByuN, he has a lot of catching up to do. Let's go. We're loading into Mothership. As spawning in the bottom side of Mothership, we have the Brood War Protoss once again. The Brood War Protoss player representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the StarCraft 2 Terran, the red Terran, representing Shopify. It is ByuN. Let's go. Let us go. As we do have a bit of back and forth going on here, but again, the pressure's on ByuN. Welcome to Mothership is a 3-player spawn map. You can spawn in top right, top left, or bottom side of the map instead. It's also a very large map in the map pool, large map, longer rush distance by ground, and we have seen some diverse play out of Classic. We've been seeing some heavy Dragoon play, we've been seeing some Reaver drop plays and Reaver drop builds. We saw a rush into Sky Toss. Last game, we saw a rush in towards mid-game Gateway heavy play into Mass Arbiter instead. What do we see this time? Oh, it's the Taskmaster 3D in the chat. God, baby, God. Extra streams. Oh, thank you. You're welcome, baby. You're welcome. I hope you enjoy the content, the casting, the StarCraft. Hope you enjoy it. So getting in. So far, economic open out of ByuN, going for the racks expand, faster CC out of our Terran player. And we're still looking for the tech here for Classic, because Classic does find ByuN immediately. True. Classic scouts ByuN, ByuN does not scout Classic. Oh, let's go. Nice delay. It does delay the CC. Classic being as annoying as possible. From here, we are expecting Dragoon range out of the Cybercore. Dragoon range in towards a Robo. If we see a deviation, we'll point it out. Likewise, ByuN, he has been messing around with Mech, of course. We'll see if he goes back to Bio. But now, standard follow-up, we'll keep an eye on the timing of the starport, second racks, and even potentially second factory. Do we mech it up again? Might be tempted. As there is Dragoon range. Is it just core Dragoon range? We'll find out soon. Is that another one of those upgrades which is very literal? It might have a fancy name. Might have one. As now we have a very fast third CC. Oh my god, hyper greed out of ByuN. That's a third CC before starport and before rack. So hyper greed from our Terran player here, getting into a faster mid game. As he will saturate his third base and his natural that much faster with the extra command center. We'll see if Classic can scout, respond, and react. If he responds with aggression or responds with greed of his own. But typically this means that ByuN will have a stronger mid-game. Much stronger mid-game. There's a Robo. Once again into Bay, into Reavers. It is the go-to. And this time Bio, not Mech. Second racks get thrown down, so that's going to be leading into stim, combat shields, into a bio setup. I do appreciate that ByuN is mixing it up. We do appreciate. Classic is being active. There it is. It's going to be called Singularity Charge. Oh, there you go. Does have a fancy name. We'll try to remember that. As the tank gets swatted. Face checks the tank. There's the bay. Again, that'll be for shuttle speed for gravitic drive. We're diving on top of the tank. Bold move. Yeah, bold move here. The tank may go down, but it's going to cost 1, 2, 3 Dragoons go down. 4 Dragoons. Oh my god, the surround. Yeah. The question mark. Ay, ay, ay. That was not worth it. That was not worth it. Shout out to ByuN for surrounding the Dragoon. Heavy losses there for Classic. Has to get the hell out of here. Hold on, I'll whip out my Google Translate. Okay. Never mind. Oh. As once again, Dragoon's getting called out. Only enough room for 2. Juggle, papi. Does save a handful of Dragoons at least. Does deter the push. ByuN is forced back. Now remember, ByuN doesn't really have much pushing power. Why is that? Because of the fast third base. This in general was an economic build, not an aggressive one. So ByuN, he pulls back home, but he does enjoy a greater economy, and he does enjoy taking out most of the Dragoons as well. Meanwhile, there's Gravitic Drive, again working towards a drop play. The initial Reaver, I believe, has spawned in. There it is. A Reaver drop is moving out across the map, and there's a lot of pressure on Classic to make up for his losses. He's got his Reaver drop, he's got his Dragoons. Time to push. As he moves out, he does claim his third. Classic dropping towards the natural. There's a turret in position. Uh-oh. Gotta be careful. Turrets are being thrown down. Again, ByuN is quite familiar with the robot follow-up. And the shuttle is zoned away. Oh. Eyes are on the tank. Tank shot goes off. Ooh, catching out 3 ACVs and a mule. Not bad. Dragoons are in the center, hoping to catch a counterattack. And the third base timing should be seen. There we go. Is confirmed. Now Classic is aware of how greedy ByuN was. Nice spread with a very nice spread with the Marines. Ensuring he avoids any splash damage. And Shuttle does spot the turrets. ByuN holds. Going for his own counter drop. Dragoon's Ariser on the third CC though. Uh-oh. He wants a third and he might just get it. ByuN's out of position. He's dropping. And Dragoons are going for the command center. They do spend a lot of shots here on the SCVs. The Reaver was hoping to catch any kind of reinforcing army. And the drop comes in. Classic out of position. Does he go all in? He's going all in. Classic is going for the base trade. The main base is forfeit. At the same time, Classic moves in. Shot goes off. The other boys are being pulled in. So many Dragoons go down already. Yeah, ByuN holds. ByuN holds. He completely shuts this down. He defends against the all-in. GG gets called, and ByuN, he looks to tie the series. Puts another point on the board. GG. GG. Again, ByuN, he forced the all-in. Classic was completely out of position. He was very committed across the map with all the Dragoons. He failed to kill the third base and was forced into the natural. And we saw that ByuN, he had the freedom to pull the boys. He was that far ahead where he could afford to lose some workers, so he pulled the boys, protected the tanks, shut down the Dragoons. GG. GG, well played. ByuN, he did shut Classic down. And can we tie up the series? Can we force the ace match? Or, sorry, I say ace match. It's still best of 9, but can we tie things up? ByuN is 1 game away. For now, we're going to be loading into Celestial Enclave. Let's go. We're loading into Celestial. Again, when it comes to the positioning for Classic there, being caught out of position is much more punishing in StarCraft Evolution because there's no defensive recall, right? There's no Nexus recall available for Brood War Protoss, so you have to be fully aware of your map awareness, map control, map vision as well, is that much more crucial to be able to keep up with that kind of play, to keep up with drop play. But here we go. Here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Celestial Enclave. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss, the SE2 Protoss for Virtus Pro. It is a classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Shopify, the Brood War Terran. It is ByuN. Let's go. Let us go as ByuN. He does set up here a little bit further back. Classic will scouts. And should get eyes on the depot. And it does get eyes. ByuN going CC first. A very greedy build here by ByuN, but he should get away with it. CC first out of ByuN. SCV scouts across the map. No shot, he blocks. He does the eBay block. Let's go. Yeah, it does go for the eBay block. A nice cheeky start here from ByuN. And Classic going to be forced to expand elsewhere. It's too late. Yeah, the scout is too late. eBay's in position. We'll expand at the third location instead. Oof, at the unnatural natural. So Classic is going to be exposed. ByuN, do we go into mech? What's the plan? Do we mech it up? Oh, he even does let it finish. I mean, that's the advantage here of Brood War Terran. eBays, they can fly. They can lift. For those that are unaware, that does not happen in SE2 with SE2, unfortunately. But there we go. Does get a free scout. Floats into the main. Classic's like, he's like, what? What the hell is this? Just free scouting there? What are you gonna do about it? Nothing. Floating eBays. Crazy, pappy, crazy. Who's curious? Mazzy, that's like laughing. He's laughing, pappy. Oh, okay. Stargate opener out of our Protoss player. Going to be opening up Stargate. With this, we can go for early Phoenixes or go for Oracle Harass instead. At the same time, ByuN is indeed going into mech. He's meching it up. And again, there's no anti-air, so he just sees everything in the main base. Now he can float over towards the natural. The tech has been thrown here to hide it, so ByuN is not fully aware. Again, crazy. See, over the years, Terran, they lost the ability to do this. They lost the technology. It just doesn't exist. They cannot float their eBays. Crazy. Lost technology. As the eBay does scout does confirm the Oracle. ByuN is aware. So able to react here with his turrets. True, he already has the eBay. He already has the eBay, so he can throw down turrets very early. Likewise, ion thrusters on the way, getting into vulture speed. And we be getting vulture speed. Unable to delay the third. ByuN did try. Did attempt to. As vultures, they do rush in. No wall! There's no wall here at the natural. Vultures, they bust into the main. There's the recall. Does recall in time. And how many probe kills? Getting 1, getting 2, 3, getting up to 4. Yeah, 4 probes going down. Can we get 5? Barely can. And potentially 6 towards the end. 6 workers go down. Very nice harass. Crippling the economy. Back at home, we have Goliaths on the way. More vultures in towards the natural. Catching out 9 probes in total. Oof. 10, 11, 12. 12 probe kills. Critical damage here. Classic, we have to counterattack. We gotta go. He's gotta send it. But what with? He's got 2 oracles and he's against Mass Goliath. The Goliaths are here. He will delay the third at least. True. Third base should be delayed. Can even force a cancel, actually. ByuN was too greedy. Yeah, too greedy here. Third base on location. ByuN, we gotta calm down. Calm down. Likewise, there's no spider mine. Yeah, spider mine was never researched. So no spider mines. Blink is not yet done. Going for the Goliath. Gets one. One Goliath goes down. Oracle is zoned away. There's two Goliaths left. There are two remaining. Classic does pull back, but again, nice control out of Classic. Spider Mine's now done. We have more Stalkers rallying in. Remember, there's no Blink. Does get the Revelation. Nice moves. Reveals the mines. Stalkers, they trade well. Cashing out two more Vultures. That's it, two getting three. For two Stalkers. So a bit of a trade. It does end up trading behind this fourth Nexus on the way for Classic, rebuilding all those probes. Again, Classic still has a lot of catching up to do, but he's slowly getting there. He's getting there. Containing ByuN. And we have a game. We have a game, Spat. We have that back and forth. Once again, ByuN needs to expand. Stalker's in position. Rockstar being knocked down. ByuN can save. Oh no, he gets. Oh no! Yeah, he gets caught out. Blinking into the main. Going further in. Siege mode is not yet ready. And workers are going to be going down. Spider Mines will look in the Stalkers, but we can always recall. They can always recall back. Now just going for the mineral line. There we go. There's the recall. Ooh, does barely get away. It does get away, losing only two Stalkers. As the Oracles, they just go to town. And Goliath's out of position. 10 SCV kills. Cashing out 10 workers. Blink, of course, is now done. Classic, he can threaten. With Siege Mode being complete, ByuN should defend the third. There we go. Tanks are ready. Stalkers, they threaten the dive. They do get one tank. Yeah, tank was too far forward, or I should say the rest of the army was too far back. It's too far back. Nice snipe out of Classic. Behind this, going in towards Immortal Archon production and in charge as well. Committing to a gateway heavy composition, not into Sky Toss. So Classic is being more active. ByuN, any kind of aggression is denied. He's forced all the way back home. Again, we have so many Vultures, and Vultures are ideal when it comes to gaining map control and harassing across the map, throwing down minefields, but all of that is denied from ByuN. There's no setup in the center. No spider minefields, no harassment here into any of the mineral lines. ByuN is contained. Now, what I will say is that being contained isn't the worst thing on Celestial, just because you do have a pocket expansion available as well. So you do have the economy and the bases to max out. But ideally, ByuN does want to be more active. As ByuN is securing himself. Building on more Vultures. Ooh, as he builds up, we do have a backstab here with a Prism. As I said, we get in. They bust into the mineral line. SCV is going to be going down. And there's still no fourth base here for ByuN. Down to 53 SCVs. And ByuN, we've yet to really tech up in towards any, I almost said Raven, into any science vessels. Yeah, still no vessels, which is a little bit concerning. If you're curious, like, Ghost Mech is the go-to in StarCraft 2, but here in Brood War, the EMP is not on the Ghost, the EMP is on the science vessel. So currently there are no EMPs available for ByuN. No spellcasters. ByuN does move in. Once again getting called out. Yeah, tanks have yet to siege. Oh, massive storms. Jesus. Oh, God. Yeah, storms, they soften up the army. Classic ready for the backstab. Nice tank boys as Classic does overextend, losing 2 immortals. Ay. Yeah, a bit of miscontrol out of Classic. ByuN does rotate. And he tries to rotate over once again. Tanks are late to siege. They do punish the Zealots at least. Zealots are punishing, and ByuN is slowly gaining ground. He's slowly pushing across the map. The goal for classes is to slow this down, to force these sieges, to pick away at the vultures, to pick away at the tanks, to pick away at the army. Prism gets across the map. Massive tank shots. ByuN, he's almost made it. He's almost there. Casito. He's coming. ByuN is pushing forward. He has the high ground. Takes down an immortal. Massive pickup. Zealots do get across the map. Into the third. Oh, that's once again Classic big overextension. Yeah, the movement has been lacking for Classic. The tanks are coming. And has ByuN done it here? Once again, massive volleys. Back across the map, he's losing everything. Or the SCVs. ByuN is all in. ByuN is completely all in. He has to end the game with this army. And thankfully, there's no Sky Toss. There is a mothership, though. And Classic just has to take it slow. Just take it slow. Slow and steady, back. Ooh, as ByuN turns around. ByuN, he turns everything around here when it comes to the vultures. He races back home. The tanks are exposed. Zealots, they trade well. And they trade well for themselves. Catching up more vultures. Low ground expansion does fall. And GG. Yeah, GG gets called. ByuN, he will lose everything back at home. And Classic does put another point on the board. GG. GG, well played. ByuN making the decision to turn around. I feel like the correct call there would have been just to commit across the map and commit to the base trade and push into the natural, but no, he did turn back around and he lost everything back at home. He had no economy, he had no reinforcements, did have a massive army to work with, but that's all he really had there. GG. GG, well played. With that, Classic does extend his lead, and Classic is now, I believe, 1 game away from claiming the series. And 1 game away. Again, ByuN, he still had a massive tank count, so he could have still tried to come into the base trade, but again, the decision to turn back around was a brutal one. Did hurt him more than anything, because that meant that he had no buffer, he had no support for his tanks. So, was a rough call there. Thought ByuN had that. Well, as I mentioned, like, if ByuN, if he didn't turn around, and if he had just kept pushing, I don't know if he would have won, but he would have made the game more chaotic, obviously. Would have made it more chaotic. And would have forced a base trade. But here we go. Here we go. We're getting to our next game. We're going to be loading into game number 7. There we go. Game number 7 here. And we're on match point. We are now on match point here, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock. We do have the Brood War Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is a Classic. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. Again, this is a best of 9 series here between these two players, and the first to 5 will win. So Unamas Classic needs one more game to claim the series. ByuN has to fight back here and now to extend the series. Here we go. Haven't seen a Ghost Lockdown in forever. Yeah, ByuN, he has not played Bio yet with Brood War. He's been playing nothing but mech. We're playing a lot of mech. Bio is viable, for sure it is viable, but a little bit more so against some of the other matchups. There we go. Once again, ByuN going for the eBay block. This time it is scattered earlier. So Classic can shut this down. And will. Ooh, kills the SCV. That should not have happened. SCV is killed. Classic harassing across the map as well. No shot. Okay, he should not kill this one. There we go. As ByuN does defend. Defends back at home. No shot. No, oh god, he was so close. Casito, papi, casito. He wants him. He wants the SCV. He comes back. There's a repair. Okay, it does repair the SCV, thankfully. Oh my god. God, this probe is a menace. Get out. He wants him. God. Almost. Doesn't get the shot off. Comes back in. Get out of here, papi. Get out of here. Ay, ay, ay. Whew. And with that, we do have our follow-up here, taking a second gas geyser racks into factory. Standard follow-up after the economic start. Standard follow-up. And we have a robot opener out of Classic. Okay. Now, if you recall, we have seen different variations of this. It is slight, but there have been variations. We have been seeing a lot of 2-gate openers into Dragoon range. This time, we're delaying Dragoon range. We're skipping the second gateway straight into the robo this time. We saw this on Vermeer. We saw this in Game 2 on Vermeer. That was the only other time we saw this build. Since then, whenever Classic plays Brood or Protoss, he does typically go into a more Dragoon heavy start in the early game. So faster robo, faster shuttle, faster bay, faster disruptor drop. Sorry, I keep saying disruptor drop. Faster reaver drop. So faster reaver drop here. As fast as you can get it, basically, without a proxy. Only one Dragoon across the map. As Dragoon does catch another SCV. It takes down the SCV, takes down the Marine as well. There's nothing here, by the way. There's nothing here. The boys are being pulled, forced to attempt to surround. Oh, Dragoon does slip away. He does barely slip away, takes down another SCV. Oh, no! He's scuttling. Oh, no, he gets around it. Yeah, it does get around to the end. The Dragoon will go down. But we get a full scout. We get a full scout of the main base. We confirm the 1-1-1 economic start. On top of that, this also distracts ByuN, keeps him busy while we build up those Reavers. They're coming. Reavers are coming. I don't know if you noticed, but we actually just canceled. Sorry, no, I didn't cancel. The observatory did complete. Now we have Dragoon range on the way. And there is Grivik drive. There is shuttle speed. So building up to shuttle speed. Oh, interesting. ByuN does go for a second cyclone and he commits into Macville accelerators. Okay. So he'll have 2 cyclones in the initial defense. Third cyclone's on the way. Going for the medevac, going for the drop play. If ByuN can catch that shuttle, he can end the game. He can straight up end the game and just counterattack and commit. Classic has to be careful. As he has his 1 Reaver. Just the 1. Macville accelerators isn't done yet. It is going to be mech out of ByuN. He's going into mech. Classic headed for the mineral line. Back at home going for the citadel. Going for zealot legs. Ooh, cyclones, they move out across the map. Uh-oh. That means there's only 1 cyclone offensively. Yeah, there's 1 cyclone to defend. Scrap shot goes off. Ooh, 2 SCVs. Very nice split. The spread, papi. Let's go. Despite that, 6 SCV is going to be going down. A nice break on the lock-on with the shuttle. Yeah, breaks the lock-on. Once the cyclone. Drop comes back home to defend. Oh, nice control by Classic. Oh my, oh, he takes out all three. No, Shorty takes out all three Cyclones. GG gets called the micro, papi. Ay, ay, ay. In Classic, he will claim the series 5-2, becoming this month's Enki Epic Series champion. GG. Ay, ay, ay. GG, well played. A rough position there for ByuN to be in the middle of moving out, right? He was in the middle of moving out across the map, in the middle of counterattacking. So ByuN, he was caught with his pants down, did boost back home to defend, but we saw again the micro there from Classic, breaking the lock-ons with his shuttle and also cashing out every single Cyclone. That should not have happened, but the Cyclones, they got shut down. The shuttle survived, the Reaper survived. GG. That was GG then and there. Congratulations to Classic for claiming the series. My condolences to ByuN, but a shout out to him as well for making a series out of this. He had a unique approach. We saw a lot of mech. We saw a lot of mech out of ByuN with Brood War Terran and SE2 Terran as well. A lot of mech, very little bio play, and mixed results here from ByuN. Mixed results. Obviously, that's a little bit of a brief explanation, but when it came to a lot of the games themselves, like we saw ByuN getting caught out of position or getting out controlled at certain times, as we just saw here as well. Technically, ByuN had the tools to defend, but he was out of position, so he wasn't able to deflect the shuttle and shut down the initial, I almost said War Prism, but the initial shuttle. It was just really unfortunate that he was across the map as the drop was coming in. So there's just a couple of unfortunate moments like that that did come into play. And likewise, Classic, he was locked in for the most part. Was locked in. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Classic. And again, we haven't been able to cover much StarCraft Evolution recently, but great to be back with some more SC Evo content. Heading on over here to the rest of our schedule, we do have the week ahead of us here. Oh boy, we do have tomorrow's broadcast, StarCraft Evolution League tomorrow morning. Tuesday morning should be some SEL. We have Sparkling Tuna Cup in the evening. Tuna Cup is usually on Sundays, but has been moved to Tuesday just because of RSL. Speaking of RSL, we have the Rival StarCraft League on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 3 days of RSL action. We're going to be wrapping up and crowning our RSL champion this week in that triple broadcast. Likewise, we have Picasso Cup on Wednesday and Thursday. We have Kung Fu Cup Wednesday night. We have the Pondcast, OSC Elite, and more Kung Fu Cup on Saturday as well. So a very, very busy, very intense broadcast schedule as always here on the CranKy Ducklings. Plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft, and even some more SC Evo tomorrow. Now, I will very quickly add that we currently have SC Evo scheduled for tomorrow morning, but we might flip it with the OSC cast. We might flip it, so just bear that in mind. Just as a heads up, might end up shifting the schedule, but overall this should be more or less kind of what our week looks like. Plenty of StarCraft, plenty of content, and as always, we cast more StarCraft than anyone else out there. All the content, all the StarCraft, and thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Again, great to jump back into some SC Evo, and we should be covering some more StarCraft Evolution later on this week, next week, and the week after as well. Plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Who is live at the moment? Who is live? Who is streaming? I do see Sort of. He is streaming some ladder. I know Wardy's hosting his Wardy TV Monday. What else do we have? I don't see many others online at the moment. So I might just give it an Allmate Bjergsen. Sort of. Rex, of course, is casting. Yeah, we'll give him some love. We'll give him some love. Give him some love. Give him some support. Sort of. But otherwise, we'll see you next time. Also, very quickly, might I add as well, when it comes to this event, this is a monthly tournament, so every single month we do typically have the Enki Epic Series, putting together some big names in StarCraft Evolution in a best of 9 format. Best of 9s are a little bit more rare nowadays, so great to experience them in this kind of setting, of course, featuring these top players and featuring the new mod and also featuring these maps as well. I do always appreciate featuring the older Brood War maps. I'm hoping we get a new map pool rotation soon for the upcoming season. It's been a while since we've had a new rotation. Fingers crossed. Regarding SC Evo. Likewise, I'm also going to be judging the TLMC again this season. We will be most likely having some judging streams in a couple of weeks' time when judging does begin. So that's also something to look forward to in the future. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys tomorrow for either some more StarCraft Evolution, some OSC, or some Tuna Cup. See you then. Ciao, bye, ciao. See you next time.